Very good evening, everybody. Nice to have you along wherever you're tuning in all around Australia or indeed the world on the platforms of the Gentleman's Sim Racing Club. Welcome to night one of week 6 in term 2 of 2024, affectionately known as the start of the second half of the campaign. 5 weeks down, 5 to go. And as far as tonight's agenda is concerned, it's Super 2 first up from the Oran Park Raceway in Sydney, before we head, of course, over to the notorious Nordschleife in Germany for 90 minutes of GT3 action. I'm Zach Cabin. Adam Lavis is here alongside me. A little bit of a change to the lineup tonight. Normally we've been having an all-in affair with Super 2 and Super 3 on the same grid. Not tonight, just Super 2 for you. We've split them up because we just thought it might get a little bit too hectic, a little bit too crazy out there if we didn't have... if we had a full complement of cars there. There's the breakdown. Jaden Green on top of this championship at the moment, 222 points, 5 clear of Stephen Varga, Greg Favell on the comeback trail. So too, of course, Jake Slade on 167 points, 2 clear of Mark Horton, Angus Lawford, Alan Gill, Tim Nicol, Kurt Chapman, and Jason Spriggs make up the top 10. 91 points, separating first and 10th at the moment. Greg Favell, 9:56 a.m., 43% humidity, partly cloudy conditions, 25 the on-track temperature, 22 the ambient, and 9 kilometre an hour winds here. 9:56 in the morning. Clock moving in single time formation as opposed to twice as fast as the real world as it will for GT3 a little bit later on. Greg Favell, Damien Cairns the front row, Michael Hammond, Jake Slade the second, Mark Horton and Tim Nicol the third, Angus Lawford, Jaden Green, Lorne McKee and Trent Allen make up the top 10. Then over the page, we go Kurt Chapman and Dane Snadden, Stephen Varga and Jack Humphreys, Alan Gill and Adam Proctor and Brendan Griffiths and Joe Baldwin make up the first 9 rows of this grid. And timing will tell us that Sean Vandermeulen has joined in at the back as well in position number 19. Ignore 20th, ladies and gentlemen, because Adam Lavis is not actually on the grid out there tonight. He's in the commentary box with me doing the directing and producing for this broadcast. 5 lights on, round 6 of the championship. Let's get it on from Oran Park. Everybody away cleanly. Magnificent start from Greg Favell. Cairns has been swamped. He's lost 4 positions. He's gained 1 back on the inside on the run down to turn 1. Sits 4th. Might try and get to 3rd on the inside, and will do so. But he has the outside running for the next corner as Jake Slade forces the issue. Cleanly. Having a good start up to 2nd. And off goes Dane Snadden. Seconds in and it's already frantic out there. Favell, Hammond, Slade, Cairns and Horton the top 5. The big winners in all that. Alan Gill up 3 spots, so too Brendan Griffiths, and Dane Snadden down 7 spots on the opening lap. Adam, good evening. It was interesting to hear you remind me earlier today that we're going 90 minutes in GT3 a little bit later on. That's something that we're very much looking forward to, even though it'll probably only be about a 12-lap race. But in saying that, you look at Super 2 and Super 3, the numbers have been fantastic. So as a result of that, and given how tight and narrow this Oran Park Raceway is, the decision was made to split them for the night, as we watch Stephen Varga getting it all crossed up on the 1 and 2. And he'll slot into 9th place as a result of that. Hello, mate. Nice to have you on board.
Yeah, good evening. It's 20 cars around this little cauldron is plenty enough. If we had both splits, I think there's almost 20 in the Super 3 as well. So it'd be very congested at the back there for the Super 3 guys. It'd be very hard for them to really race each other. You basically a 5 p.m. traffic jam on the M1. So a bit better to give them a chance to actually have their own track tonight and have a race for themselves. And the only downside is obviously we don't give them the broadcast, but we'll catch up with them again next week.
Indeed we will. Actually, on that subject, you mentioned the M1. Had great joy in driving down that last Sunday night on Mother's Day, actually. As most of you know, I wasn't here for week 5 of the season. I'm back for the balance of the campaign. I am missing Super 2 and Super 3 next Monday night, though, due to commitments with the Ipswich Jets. but the rest of the complement of the season I'm here for. I'm looking forward to it immensely. Whether the batteries are recharged and refreshed is debatable, but we are looking forward to what should be a terrific conclusion to this campaign. Greg Favell, 1 minute 4.231, fastest lap of the race thus far. We speak about catching up and driving on the M1. Made great time last week because I chose the right time to lead. Once all of the Sunday afternoon traffic had bloody cleared. Had previously clocked 8 hours 3 minutes between Ipswich and home with a quick splash and dash and both tanks at Coffs Harbour, personal and car, and one emptied and one filled, and then made my way through to Cessnock in 8 hours 3 minutes. That was my previous best. Shaved 15 minutes off that last Sunday night. Had a good crack, didn't get caught. Happy with that. 7 hours 48 minutes. The new PB to own. Let's have a look here at Dane Snadden. This is the moment that he had on lap 1 that saw him plummet down the order 7 spots. Oh, he got help. He got some help. A nice love tap. How do you do? No NASCAR-esque fisticuffs going on there after that one at the moment, but yes. Oh dear.
Kurt just locked the rears.
Chapman just locked it all up and got it all out of whack, and yeah, he had no control, and therefore Snadden had no help. Had no hope. And Simon Haynes, good evening to you. Wishing the Quantum boys well. Accelerate on top at the moment through Greg Favell. Aussie races second. SGW racing third. Accelerator got 3 in the top 5 at the moment through Cairns and Horton. Got a few other members out there. Uh-oh. Jaden Green, the championship leader, gets it out of whack at turn 9. Drops to 11th spot. 4.5 minutes gone. Favell's the leader. Look at the margin already. 4 seconds to the good for Greg Favell. Daylight second, he's gone.
Jaden seems to be struggling though. He only got 8th in qualifying, so he obviously hasn't job with his truck very well.
Although, can we just highlight, and you mentioned it as we were getting ready to go on air, something about parity. 6 Holdens in the top 6.
I was only joking.
No, I'm hopeful. Oh, thank God for that. Don't you hate it when you have a little bit of steak for dinner and you get part of it caught in your teeth? It's just falling out whilst we're on air. How good is that? Let's talk about the parity issue. I'm just hoping that it'll stir up some conversation in your chat thread tonight. And if you are tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, great to have you on board. Welcome to Monday Night Motorsport. We're here till about 11 o'clock with that 90-minute race from the Nordschleife coming up, and it is the pro split that we're bringing you tonight, which will be good fun. A little bit of conspiracy theorism going on within the club service at the moment. 0 chance of rain, as set in the server by our main man Adam White. Everybody reckons they're going to be stitched up. We shall wait and see. Wouldn't it be fun though? I mean, I think, to be fair, Adam, I think you look at the Nordschleife, you look at the daunting racetrack that is, and let's hope you don't get a safety car, but you look at that racetrack for what it is. I'm somewhat glad that we are looking at 0 chance of rain, because it would just be absolute hell if we got any sort of precipitation anywhere around that racetrack.
Well, it's in Nordschleife terms, it's only a 90-minute race. And it's a big slide there from the Revolution guys. But yeah, so and the track's hard enough as it is. Very easy to make mistakes. It's a very long track to remember if you haven't had any previous experience going around it. So very very easy guys to do it. We're doing our first GSRC GT3 race around there.
Down the main straight again. There's Angus Lawford. Jake Slade is right on the tail, nipping at the heels of Michael Hammond at the moment. Slade having a good run in this championship. We had a look at the championship points coming into the round at the start of the night. He's right there in contention. There's no doubt about that. I mean, when we look at the Super 2 and Super 3 point standings. Slade's only, what's that, 55 points off Jaden Green. And with Green slipping down the order tonight, he and both Greg Favell and Mark Horton stand to gain on that.
60 points for a win.
So things up just nice.
60 points for a win, so he's within a round of the championship leader. That's always where you want to be.
Especially with only 4 weeks to go. And, as far as those 4 weeks are concerned, ladies and gentlemen, it's Algarve, which will be good fun. And it's Motorsport, which is always good. Doesn't matter what category we take there. Then Motegi West. Oh, off goes Jack Humphreys. Then onto a place known as Mount Panorama. The season finale over 45 minutes instead of the usual 25. We are rapidly racing towards the end of the opening half of 2024 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Looking forward to that 2-week break already, I must say. Now, and by the by, for the benefit of anyone that might be unsure, don't think for a second that I've been on vacation the last week. I've had work coming out of my ear hole for the last 6 weeks or so, and things are slowly starting to settle down into a manageable balance after that, which means I'll actually be able to have a break rather than just being rip, tear, rush, bust all the time. Trent Allen there in 9th place at the moment. Have a look at this. Just ahead of him, all crossed up, of course, was Stephen Varga. Varga did well to gather it up and not throw it down the road.
The amount of people barbecuing their tyres in a turn 2, though.
Oh, everybody can't wait for pit stop.
Oh,
change the rubber. Whoa, here we go.
Angus Lawford.
Angus Lawford in trouble. And then getting back up on the inside of Allen as they run up the hill over the bridge. Have a look at this. It's a 4-way fight. Lorne McKee's latched onto the train. They're trying to stick with Stephen Varga, but Varga's got breathing space here. And inches as good as a mile around Oran Park. Through they go. On the run down the hill. Oh, geez. Yep. You can see what happened there to Trent Allen. He got it into the grass on the exit of 11. He was on the outside, moved it back across to the inside, locked it up and still got the job done as Michael Hammond comes to the lane. So does Jaden Green. Pit stop's underway. Round 6 of the championship. 10.25 minutes gone. We're not quite at halfway, but those two are opting to zig now. The shots are being fired. The trigger pulled. Now the pit stop sequence is underway. That's the earliest we've seen it. How late will we see some of these guys go? Just having a look through. Sean Vandermeulen's still out there. He stopped with Kurt Chapman on the previous lap. Jaden Green and Michael Hammond. So that's going to balk and obstruct them just a little bit longer.
Hammond's done something in the pits. He's still in there.
Copy that. I'll get to Mikey in a moment. That was, of course, Angus Lawford throwing it off the road and getting it crossed up. And that's to the benefit of both Lorne McKee and Trent Allen. Damien Cairns comes to pit lane now. So does Trent Allen. Whoa! A little bit of dust being kicked up. A little bit of smoke kicking off the tyres. Maybe a wall clip as well. It's all happening here in Sydney. Jaden Green, Kurt Chapman and Sean Vandermeulen have all been to pit lane. Michael Hammond is parked up and is out of the race. Michael Hammond, a stop and hold. He was on the lane for 52.95 seconds and he's like, yep, that's it. I've had a gutful. I'm done. He's exited stage left. His night is over. Before it really got going, Hammond has rage quit. Round 6 of the season. Have a look at this. This is his entry to pit lane. And it's all gone horribly wrong for the 007. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think he could call out. I don't think he thought the cone was right at the start. I thought he was a little bit down.
All checked up. Unlucky for him. Unlucky for him. And that's just thrown the race wide open, unfortunately. Varga, Geel and Proctor go to pit lane now. So The earliest we saw stops is lap 8. What's the latest we'll see them? Where's that threshold at the back end of the race?
What the?
Oh, trouble!
What's
Go, Trucker Baldwin! El Presidente! That's not how you enter the lane, Trucker! Oh, no! Into the wall on pit road. What on earth is going on here tonight? Jeez. Actually, you know what? I think it might be a packet loss for Joe. He's frozen on our screen. He's going nowhere.
Well, it says he's out.
Nothing's lit up.
It's got the out symbol on the timing screen, so he may have realised tonight was going well. Maybe want some more Nürburgring practice.
Possibly. Yeah. That's wow. Jesus. When it rains, it pours. That's 2 Aussie Racer stable entries in trouble early. We've also had Michael Hammond retire. Dane Snadden and Jack Humphries are down the back end of the tree. Big amount of pit lane activity this time by. Griffiths, Lawford, McKee, Horton and Slade. All on pit road. This race is opening up beautifully for Greg Favell, who is the leader over the bridge one more time. And he's about to encounter some lap traffic in the form of Kurt Chapman. Having already put a lap on at Vandermeulen and Humphries, Snadden and Baldwin. However, he is yet to stop. All those guys should get their lap back in some way, shape or form, you would imagine, this time by whenever Favell comes to the lane.
Like, on one hand, Greg probably wants to empty the tank. On the other hand, he's got traffic coming, so he probably want to pit this lap or next lap to avoid the traffic. There he goes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Especially given that Jake was second in the queue and he's already in the lane, so his main competition's already pitted, so he may as well cover him off.
Absolutely. Now, one thing we should point out as we have a look at all of this is that Favell and Nickel and Allen, Favell and Nickel have come to the lane. Allen has continued on. So 1 minute 4.231, the fastest lap of the race. Trent Allen goes to the lead momentarily. Everybody else has stopped, with the exception of Trucker and Hammond, who are parked up and out of business. Yeah, wow. Just carnage tonight. You're right, though. You were absolutely right, Adam Lavis. We get enough action, enough bang for our buck with the small field. It's that sort of racetrack. GT3 follows this from the Nordschleife. Our first visit there. Actually, Adam Lavis, big talking point in the last week whilst I've been MIA. I'm very excited to see that iRacing, I mean, there's a lot of murmurs and speculation and discussion about what they're going to wheel at next. There was a little tease with regards to something Australian. There are some new racetracks on their way. Most importantly, though, there are 2 big things to look forward to. The Ford Mustang arrival in GT3, but also the wet weather ingredients being wheeled out into more categories, including GT4.
Yeah, it's a GT4 will be very interesting to weapon. They're also, as a lot of people have sort of said that they're not too sure about, also the Porsche Cup car is also wet weather coming back.
Yes.
But also, yeah, so you got the Mustang, got the Corvette, and we've seen the bleak skin renders, and that Mustang looks very mean. So it's going to be a very good car, I think. And yeah, also there was a leak of Cadwell Park from the UK was leaked. A bit of just like a upper sort of aerial map of a teaser of the track. So that's a very tight and twisty UK track, that one.
It is, but it's a goodie. It is an absolute goodie. 16:23 gone here at Oran Park. Past half race distance, well and truly. Inside the final 10 minutes. Yeah, more wet weather the better, I reckon. More service with it. That Ford Mustang, I guess, will be phased in with the GT phased out as far as our GT3 servers are concerned.
Yeah, I think like it won't only be like the update will be after round 8. So chances are we'll just run with what we got for the rest of the season and then bring on the new cars for the start of the new season.
Happy with that. Yep.
But the thing is, though, I believe they're also upping the limit of GT3 cars to 13, so we can probably keep the other cars in there if anyone wants to use them.
Well, that's true.
As long as iRacing keeps up support with them, as long as iRacing doesn't make them legacy, they should be good to go.
Yes, true. Although that being said, they've still only got 8 manufacturers, haven't they?
Yeah.
There's no change there.
Well, Chevy's new to the series.
Okay.
So it'll be 9 manufacturers.
So that would, yeah. Okay, that'd be interesting. So that would give us the capacity to run 9 different manufacturers. That would be interesting. What about the scenes? I don't know if anybody's not yet seen it, and I apologise for the spoiler alert in advance. What about the scenes from Indianapolis this morning?
Big laps. They were big.
That was just extraordinary. The Trans-Tasman boys doing beautifully. Penske doing phenomenally. It's a history-making Monday morning ahead of us next weekend. Although I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it because I got to work all day Sunday. I've got 2 events on Sunday that I'm attending. I then go on to hopefully watch some Monaco Formula 1. I don't think I'll make the Coke 600 if I get through Formula 1 and IndyCar next Sunday night.
It looks like Damien's managed to jump Jake in the pit stop, but Jake wants that spot back ASAP.
Indeed it does. All right, so straight on Cairns as they run down the main straight and the run down to turn 1. Cairns doing a nice job here. Looking at the team 1-2, defending Slade and making him work for it. Go to the high side, go to the outside, Slade. Have a look at this behind them though. That's Nicol and Horton as well. So the Accelerate Sim Racing boys, at least the second and third drivers within the squad, are locked in battle here. Trouble at 1. Alan Giles had a moment. Thrown it down the road. Pavel's gone. 15.6 to the good. He's clearing out at nearly a second a lap here. And have a look at this on the run to 1.
I just gone wide.
Giles wide in the gravel, in the kitty litter.
He's done well to pull it up though. That's as far as turn 2 losses go, he's minimised that very well.
Right. Would that be because of the new gravel trap inventions or introductions that have been made by our racing, maybe?
Possibly. It'd be a little bit with the gravel trap, a little bit with the grass, no longer being ice, but still. Because yeah, in the old days, as soon as you touch the grass on the outside of 1 there, you're in the fence.
Oh yeah.
So poor old Mark Horton here, he's got a quantum picky sandwich here. He's already had one rob him at turn 1 and 2, and he's got another one on him. So just can't get rid of these blue and gold cars. And he's got Trent Allen right there as well. He's been trying to move forward all race.
All right, we continue on. Let's go, Vargs. Here's the message from Simon Haynes at the moment. He's doing a nice job sitting down there in 6th spot, up 7 spots on where he started. He's the best mover of the night in a smallish field. Hammond down 16 spots, Humphreys down 3, Snadden down 4, and Chapman down 2,
Mark's
Orford
wide.
down 3. Have a look at this. First and second remain where they started. 7 gained for Vargs. 5 gained for Adam Proctor, 16th to 11th, and 4 gained for Vandermeulen, 19th to 15th, the best movers of the race thus far. 3 retirements, Jack Humphreys, Joe Baldwin, Michael Hammond, everybody else still running. We have Dane Snadden down the lap, everybody else still on the lead lap by the skin of their teeth. The next target for a lap down would be Sean Vandermeulen. In the meantime, Greg Favell has 4 minutes to go. So it should be 4 laps at the line for Greg Favell.
18-second lead.
Extraordinary, isn't it?
He's
just extraordinary.
He's almost a second lap faster.
Yep.
Well, he
across
is.
the line now to complete lap 19.
Yeah, if he can stretch us to 19 seconds, he's in a second lap, everyone.
Well, he's actually, yeah, that's right. But he's actually going to get us to 23 laps. Right? Such is the pace of Greg Favell. He will go to 23 laps. We'll get to the last lap to the white flag with about half a minute to go on the clock. In the meantime, Varga and Allen continue their scrap with Mark Horton. There they are, on the run to 1. And Slade all over the back of Cairns as well, still in the battle for second. Tim Nicola only 4th. And Lawford trying to get down on the inside, but runs out of time.
No, he's gone
Has
for
a crack at 2! Has a crack at 2! Forces McKee wide, but that's okay for Lorne because he'll hold the inside running to turn 3. Does so. Lawford wants to force the issue right around the outside on the run to 4, but has to be careful because he might lose out to Adam Proctor in the process of doing that. Does so. Proctor goes through. He might get 2 for the price of 1. no! He was so close to having a crack at Lorne McKee and then bailed out of it. Proctor the beneficiary. Crawford loses out. McKee holds on to 9. Oh, how good's this? It is on in earnest in Western Sydney. Southwestern Sydney, it's important to note. I was in Western Sydney proper the other night. The fact that I was able, ladies and gentlemen, to park the car at Blacktown Kmart at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and get back to it at 5:30 at night and it still be there in one piece, I'm counting that as a win.
Oh,
what's more of a win?
Even the wheels were still on it.
Yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
Everything was intact. Yeah, absolutely. One thing that was particularly impressive, though, was I found there were 2 parks available. One was in a 2-hour spot and one was in a 4-hour spot, free of charge. Whoa, there goes Dane Snadden again. It's been a shocker of a night for Dane. Down the lap already, and that's just the icing on the turd, really. In the meantime, yeah, so one was a 2-hour spot, one was a 4-hour spot, and just as luck would have it, the 4-hour spot remained available in the time it took me to move it from the 2-hour spot to the 4-hour spot, and that was a very good decision because I was gone for 4.5 hours, so I avoided a fine in the car park, so another win. Whether I avoided a fine or not on the way home remains because I was having a good crack. In the meantime, Mark Horton under pressure here. Varga to the top 5, up 8 spots. Will he take Alan with him? Oh, there goes Horton! Horton's locked it up at 1. Horton's thrown it away. Drops to 7th, and Trent Allen goes through. Jeez, that is unlucky for Trent Allen. Sorry for Mark Horton, but Trent Allen, lucky actually not to get caught up in all of that. And did Horton scrape onto, did he kiss the grass? Is that how that all came about, or was it just a plain, simple mistake? We'll wait and see. We'll have a look at a replay. But did he get some grass here, or did he get some help?
And he just locked the rears.
No, it's just a lock up of the rears. Oh, boy. Oh, dear. And just when it was looking so good for the Accelerate boys. Oh, hang on. Trent Allen's on the lane. Trent Allen is on the lane. Second stop for Trent Allen. What's going on here?
White flag.
The clock expires. Greg Favell's on the run home. Trent Allen's come in. Was he out of fuel?
As he's
Short
miscalculated.
splash and gas. Whoa, boy. In the meantime, Greg Favell's on his way to the checkered flag. Greg Favell's on his way to victory lane. Greg Favell is on the comeback charge in this championship fight, and this well and truly helps that mission. Greg Favell victorious at Oran Park. Job done. Damien Kent second, Jake Slade third, then Tim Nicol, but it's daylight from Favell down to Cairns, his teammate.
I just realised, but Barney's not doing anything because I'm in here as a driver instead of a watcher, so Barney's just having a holiday.
Copy that. Well, I mean, how many times have you taken a holiday when you've been in there as a spectator? I mean, dead set. So, yeah. Very good stuff. Well done, one and all. That was great racing. That really was. Nicol in for 4th. Varga got 5th. Horton 6th. Then Jaden Green in for 7th in the end. A good comeback, that. Lorne McKee, after that spin at the end, 8th. Trent Allen gets home in 14th. It was an 8.9 second stop, so it's a very long stop, given that it was the last lap of the race. But that's a disappointing 14th for Trent Allen. And a top 10 finish goes begging. Oh boy. Oran Park delivers the goods yet again. Dane Snadden finished a lap down. Sean Vandermeulen was the last of the finishers on the lead lap. There were 16 finishes in total. And that's how it come to be for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it looked at the end of the road. Favell, Can, Slade, Nicol, Varga, the top 5. Horton, Green, McKee, Proctor and Lawford took you back to 10th. Geel, Chapman, Griffiths, Allen, Vandermeulen and Snadden made up the top 16. The only 16 to get home in all of that. Humphreys, Baldwin and Hammond retired. And, of course, as you know, Adam Lavis accidentally signed himself in as a driver instead of an editor, a producer and director. All right, and there's the celebrations for Greg Favell, a championship-defining moment, potentially, considering that Jaden Green was down in 7th. That does, I mean, Green's still, well-placed for the championship here, but that result does wonders to the hopes of Favell and Cairns in terms of trying to reel him in. That's a really good result for them, and it just livens things up, spices things up, tightens things up a little bit as we get ready for the final 4 rounds of the campaign, which, as we've already said, are on some spectacular racetracks. Motorsport I'm particularly looking forward to. Mount Panorama will always be a favourite for the supercar fraternity. And, of course, in between that, I think I mentioned we've got Mategi West and also Portimao next week. So, I mean, that'll be good fun too. Greg Favell's in the green room about to join us. Someone's already jumped in. That's his teammate, Damien Cairns. Let's bring Greg in as well. Gentlemen, well done. Back in business as far as the championship fight is concerned. I mean, look at the points coming into the night. Greg was 35 points behind Jaden Green. And, of course, Damien, I know you're trying to fight your way back into the top 10, mate. You've done that tonight. That result does you boys a great degree of good with only 4 rounds to go. But it wasn't a clinical, it wasn't a orchestrated one too, because by G, Greg, you just took off into the sunset, mate.
Mate, I was at Oran Park today, seeing my chiropractor, getting some work done on the body.
Yep.
Got a bit of inspiration as I was driving out of there and some good old memories, so I was pumped when I got home.
And showed it, mate. I mean, you just hit every single marker, did not put a foot wrong.
Yeah, well, during the week I tried something new and turned the delta bar off in practice, and it just helps you get focused, not worrying about times and stuff, so it paid off tonight. I just fully focused and hitting the points, hitting the marks and hitting the apexes, and yeah, it worked. Love this track though.
Love this track indeed, and how lucky we are, mate. I mean, we all go through that part of the world these days, and we see that what it's become in a booming population climate. The fact that it made way for housing doesn't still sit well with many of us in the motor racing fraternity, but cash is king, and they got a good payout at the time. There'll never be another Oran Park in the real world, but the virtual world is continuing and carrying on that legacy, mate.
Absolutely, yeah. The day is a bit sad when we drive through there. Well, we do a bit of work around there as well, and yeah, there's some good memories from the younger days at Oran Park. So, yep, like you said, we still get to race around there, so it's a good thing.
Indeed, we do, and obviously, it would seem as though even without that inspiration of the trip there today aside, it would seem as though it's still a favourite of yours as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Grew up in this area, so yeah, love the track.
Absolutely. Hey, mate, you had you've got a mountain to climb, obviously, coming back in this championship fight, and the fact that Jaden was down in 7th tonight gained very much on for the final 4 rounds.
Yeah, I think the drop rounds help a lot, which I'm going to need, but yeah, yeah, a few favourite tracks coming up as well. We've got Bathurst at the end, which is another favourite, so yeah, looking forward to it.
Indeed, and I don't blame you. I mean, what are your thoughts on Portimao next week?
I haven't raced there yet, but I did a little bit of practice with some of the team because they've had a few races there recently, and I look forward to getting into the Super 2 there and doing a few laps. I just got my VR this week too, so I'm hoping I can get it set up ready. I can't wait to come down that big dip of a hill in VR. So,
all right, very nicely done. And then, of course, we know after that we head to places like Mategi West and Motorsport, circuits right up your alley, and then Bathurst. So, I mean, if you can get through Portimao and the challenges that presents, you're well suited, you're well placed, aren't you?
Yeah, and I think Canadian Motorsport Park's going to offer some good racing too. It's a pretty close racing track. There's not many advantages to be gained around that track, so hopefully it's nice and tight and good racing.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Thank you for that. Well done. Great performance, and looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table next week. Stay with me, though, because we're going to talk to your teammate right now. Damien Cairns, well done. Not a straightforward assignment for you. You made a little bit of a rod for your own back. You had to fight back. Not the cleanest start that we've seen from you.
No, I wanted to make it hard for myself. So I wanted to have a bad start, and then... but yeah, no, it was unfortunate. I think... might be p.m. and he had lost his internet or something. He got booted. So then was it Jake Slade or something behind me?
Yep.
Bearing down. So I had to really.
Well, Damien, Jake Slade is actually in the broadcast booth here with us as well. We're going to hear from him in a second.
Yeah. So I could see him coming up behind me, so I had to defend there a fair bit. So he would have found it pretty hard to get past, because it's really hard at this track to get past if you put the car in the right spot. It's near impossible.
Daniel Snedden with an interesting comment. Who needs Zumba when you've got Oran Park and a sim rig? Excellent, very nicely done. Damien, obviously your pace isn't a true reflection of the winning margin that your teammate enjoyed tonight. It was just simply a fact that he had clear air and you didn't. He was able to just take off and make you guys look silly almost. That margin, it was a 23-lap race and he's won by 21.5. It doesn't reflect how tight the field was in qualifying. Greg just hit all his markers tonight.
Yeah, he was on tonight, so he looked like he's back in a bit of form. So yeah, we'll just have to do him more practice, see if we can't get a little bit closer to him, make him work for it a little bit.
Very nicely done. What are your thoughts now? What are you hoping to achieve here, mate? Because as I said, you've just worked your way into the bottom half of the top 10 again tonight. What are you hoping to achieve from here? Because I'm not sure if the title defense is gone, but I'm also not sure if you can get back to the top step of the summit in the 4 weeks we got left.
Yeah. So no, just finishing well for the season, and the track next week. We had a race there in the vets last week, so it's an interesting track and it's quite fun. So that'll be good to see how it goes around there. There's
what's ahead for everybody tuning in at home.
Chance to get in front of Greg, considering he hasn't raced there yet.
Are you a fan of the circuit?
I raced there in the new F3 and it's great for that, but with the supercar it's quite a handful, because it's got very low grip and it's a lot of ups and downs, and it's you really got to work for it.
Indeed. Hey, I was going to say, Algarve next, then Canadian Tire, then Motegi, then Mount Panorama Bathurst. At this point in time, is there anything you can do to help Greg and his push to reel Jaden in the championship fight?
Probably just qualify well, race well, and hopefully hold him up a bit if we can. That's really all we can do. We could take him out, but that wouldn't be real fair.
No.
We'll just try and get up in front of him and make him have to drive past us to catch Greg and try and get points to. So that's pretty much all we could really do.
If you can make it look like an accident. No, I shouldn't say that. No. The interesting thing is, boys, I didn't see all the update rolled out by iRacing next week, but we've got some new circuits on the way and we're excited about that. Adam Lavis, did they say anything about when cars like these, the supercars, are going to get the wet weather treatment or not?
No word yet.
No word yet. Would you like to see the wet weather in these things just to add to the challenge, boys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, why not? Absolutely.
That'd be a challenge.
Bring another level.
Yeah.
Although that being said, if they are going to wheel out the new model supercar, I reckon they'd wheel out the wet weather model there first and then maybe backtrack.
I'd imagine so.
New is the way they go, because that's how they get the coin out of you. So, what do you do? Very nicely done, gents. Thank you for that. Okay, we're getting an international viewer, I think, tuning in and saying hello. What name this game? It's called iRacing. If you look in the very bottom right corner, under where it says commentary box and my name, you might see the iRacing logo or watermark down there in the bottom right corner. iRacing.com for more information on what this is all about. And of course, if you want more information on the club, that's GSRC. TGSRCI, race.tgsrci.com. I apologise, race.tgsrci.com. I am a little bit out of practice because I haven't been here for a week and a half. So yes, Daniel Snedden. Come on, Daniel, don't distract people. Don't give people a bum steer like that. What are you doing? May as well say it's Gran Turismo. Oh, sorry, what? No. I said, of course, no. Let's bring in the third member of the podium here at this point in time, gents. Let's bring in Jake Slade at this moment and say good evening to you, mate. Well done. One position gained tonight, but by gee, you had to work for it. We knew that Oran Park was going to be a tough slog.
Yeah, it's a tough track by any means. I mean, you make the smallest mistakes around here and it really, really bites you. I didn't do a great deal of practice this week for the track, and historically this track's never been good for me, so I kind of wasn't expecting much out of tonight, but I just got in a bit of a rhythm and it just sort of fell together. I think the main thing around here is just staying alive. I mean, you don't have to be the quickest person, obviously you got to have decent pace, but just staying alive's key.
Driver 2, Mario Kart. There's some good recommendations coming in at the moment. We needed some ounces of stupidity to get the conversation chat thread going. So there you go. Very nicely done. Hey, Jake, actually Greg and also Damien, I'll get your comment on this. Do we have a parity issue at the moment in our Super 2 series? 6 Holdens in the top 6 and 7 in the top 10?
No, it's just the Ford drivers are slow.
Okay.
I think if I was driving a Ford tonight, I would have blamed the motor. I was worried a couple of times in the Commodore. It was going to blow soon. I was pushing it pretty hard. So.
Oh dear. Excellent. All right. Next question. Back to you, Jake. As you said, historically this circuit isn't your best. Nice to see that fortune turn around for you. A difficult task, racing one of the well-established drivers in the Caper, and no less the defending series champion in Damien Cairns, mate.
Yeah, it was a good fight at the end. I seen I actually took a little bit too much fuel at the stop. I was a bit worried. As I said, I didn't do much practice and didn't have my fuel loads right, and I took about 4 or 5 litres too much. So if I took probably the right amount, it probably would have popped me out a bit closer. But I seen him make that mistake with, it was about 4 or 5 laps left, and I sort of put the hammer down a little bit too much, and within 2 laps I just straight cooked my tyres and just fell back from there. But that was a good fight. I really enjoy that sort of stuff towards the end of the races. It's always a good finish.
That's what I was hoping for. You burnt your tyres out trying to catch me.
That's it. Yep.
I definitely
Otherwise
did.
I was in trouble.
2 things. Damien's already nailed the point here, and I'll get Greg's thoughts in just a moment. But from your perspective, Jake, I want to ask you about the notorious difficulty associated with overtaking around here. Was that something that hamstrung you a little bit tonight?
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, there's not really many spots you can do an overtake around here, obviously. And as Damien said, you only have to move the car like half a metre off the racing line, and you've pretty much got no way past. It is very hard. You've sort of got to try and craft something up 3 or 4 corners before and try and put a bit of pressure on them to making a mistake. That's really the only way you get past around here. Or if you make a big dive into one, which is just almost a certain death.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I guess the other question on the back of what Jake said about burning the tyres. Damien, how did you find yours? And Greg, how did you find yours? Because it was something that Adam Lavis mentioned about 5 minutes into the race, that tyres were going to be under some sort of duress and sufferance for 25 minutes around here.
Just had to avoid heating them up. If you heated them up, you're in trouble because it's really hard to cool them down around here because you're constantly turning. So it's really trying to not lock the brakes up and just small inputs, trying to keep the tyres as cool as you can.
I think Adam Lavis is almost ready to show you some updated championship standings, ladies and gentlemen, for Super 2 on the back of this round at the Oran Park circuit in southwestern Sydney. And all I can tell you is that we're looking at the championship fight at the moment, and it is on in earnest. Remembering full well that after next week's round at the Algarve circuit in Portugal, we will have the updated points once drop rounds are taken into consideration. But there it is for the moment. Stephen Varga takes the championship lead away from Jaden Green. 267 plays 261, and Greg Favell is right back in business
There
now
he is.
on 250. Jake Slade drops to 4th on 216, and Mark Horton on 206. Jake, just get your thoughts very quickly, mate, on the championship standings there. You're not without a chance to have a real good crack here in the final few weeks. What have you got to do to try and get yourself a podium finish as far as the championship's concerned, mate? And what are your thoughts on Algarve?
I've never driven the track, so it's going to be very new to me. I'm just going to take it like
we seem to get that answer a lot in here when we're talking about new circuits. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm just going to take it like this week and try and just try and survive, really. And hopefully it just falls into place like tonight did. But yeah, as for points go, I'm actually quite happy where I am at the moment. But yeah, just consistent finishes is all I'm looking for the end of the season. This is my first season racing these things, and I've only been on a wheel for about 7 weeks, so I'm still constantly learning. So yeah, can only go up from here.
Indeed. Now, yes, Miha's got it right now, or Miha, I'm not sure, depending upon which school you went to. iRacing is correct. Hey, those, yes, you racing. That's it. Yes, hello, Daniel. We're having too much fun here. Are any of you three gentlemen tempted to go and have a run around the Nordschleife and the GTs because it's the Nordschleife tonight?
I'd love to, but unfortunately I have things to do tonight, so...
Oh, I don't doubt that. We're all busy people. What about Damien and Jake?
No, I'm no Verstappen. We can't bloody come here and race and then go and race all night. I don't know about that.
You know, I think I'm going to kick back and eat some leg of lamb and have a bourbon or something. I think so.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna lie. I went to a wedding yesterday, and congratulations to Dana and Daniel. It was magnificent to watch you two, celebrate the moment in front of your loved ones, your near and dear, and it was a privilege to be a part of it. I'm going to describe it when I put some photos up on socials a little bit later on as wedding's answer to 2020 cricket. It was in and out, over and done with, wedding reception, and off you go in about 3.5 hours. It was terrific stuff. So much so that the bride, specifically knowing my drink of choice, brought 6 Canadian clubs with me and then sent me home with 3 of them because I didn't get through them. She said, no one else is going to drink them, so you got roadies. Excellent. So there'll be one of them being down at about 11:15 tonight after we get off air here. Very well done. Jake, just give us a little bit of an update, mate, because, I mean, I look at your team tag there, and I noticed that you are the sole flyer of SGW Racing in this server, in this race tonight. Tell us about SGW and tell us where your teammates are, please.
So my only other teammate is Daniel Snedden. He's in the S3 league, so it's just
and in the chat stirring things up at the moment. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, he's the one stirring them up. He's from up in Newcastle, and I'm from the Central Coast, so not very far away. And Slady's Courseworks is my business, so me being the primary sponsor, good bit of publicity. So yeah.
On the subject of Super 3, stay with me there for a sec, boys. Aaron Bryan, Tim Fuge, Greg Spencer, Chris Stark, Daniel Snedden, and then, of course, Chris Tomlin, Jared Gilbert, Wayne Vizza, and Colin Bennett, with Phil King making up the top 10. Schultze was 11th, Nigel Patton, Liam Amos, David Lawler, and Scott Craig making up the top 15. And you guys say Central Coast and Newcastle. I'm at Mum and Dad's in Cessnock tonight, heading back to my base in Ipswich on Wednesday. So I'm very familiar with where you two gentlemen stem from. There's no doubt about that. The other thing that we should ask, I don't think I got comment from you, Jake, with regards to the wet weather. Have you had much? I mean, obviously supercars don't have much of the rain love at the moment. Have you had much of a crack with the Tempest system in any other category, any other car yet?
Yeah, mainly just the in the GT3s. Had a bit of a go around Bathurst, and it's such a different style of racing. You just really can't, or everything you've learned how to do in racing, you've got to throw out the window and just start from scratch. It's just very different.
Just got to retrain yourself.
Yeah, it is very hard, especially you get in such a habit of doing the right thing, and then It's just drummed into you, especially around Bathurst or something like that. You just can't tell yourself to get out of the groove at turn 2, but you have to. So it's a lot of fun though.
Daniel, that's the first time I've seen neck knock written without the second K, but that's okay. Well done. Very good stuff. We are having too much fun for the sake of it here on the platforms of the GSRC on a Monday night, but we wouldn't have it any other way. Asking you shall receive, Daniel. There are the Super 3 updated championship standings right now. Daniel on top, 271. 23 points clear of Mark McNamara, who has a 20-point advantage over Greg Spencer. Lee Mamos on 206 and Wayne Vizza 194. Tim Few, Jaden Schultz, David Lawler, Chris Tomlin, and Aaron Bryan making up the top 10 there at the moment. 39 points covering, 139 points between first and 10th. So the spread is wide at the moment. There's no doubt about that. The margins are rather big, it's fair to say. All right, gentlemen, thank you for that. Jake, well done on third place, made a nice podium finish. You guys have narrowed up the championship fight just nicely. Greg, you must have been relieved to see some numbers there that have you right back in the mix, and that's before drop rounds come into play.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I was going for maximum bonus points tonight, and I got one off track trying to secure the fastest lap, but I already had it, and I just can't help myself.
Exactly. You're a bit dench-like. You're a bit greedy. You've already got the fastest lap of the race, and you go for a little bit extra.
Yeah.
I love it.
Stop.
Yeah. He could have, but there's no doubt about that. All right, very nicely done, gents. I've covered off tyre wear. I've covered off other factors, lack of overtaking opportunities, etc. Probably a good thing we split the two servers up tonight, but they'll be back in action next week for Portimao. Well done, gents. Enjoy the rest of your week. Look forward to seeing you next Monday night.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, boys.
Couple of things from me as we head to a break here. Firstly, we couldn't do what we do without the great people that Adam Lavis is going to have scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. They include Sprayton Cider, the naming rights sponsor of the club, Waste Options, Orbic Australia, Lobesy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and Flash Graphics. A big thanks to all of them. Just to clarify, I cocked it up earlier, race.tgsrci.com is where you go for all the information on how to join the club, etc. and so forth, and merch.tgsrci.com is where you go for all the apparel that the club has ready to sell to you. But yes, race.tgsrci.com if you want to join in the fun of the fair here each Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday night. And of course, 4 of those nights each and every week broadcast at the moment. We're back on Wednesday, we're back on Thursday, and we're back on Friday night as well. I'll be back in the booth on Thursday night. Nick Fodiatis will be here on Friday night. Liam Banks will be here on Wednesday night, so looking forward to that. Daniel Correa-Sarr takes over from Adam Lavis for Wednesday, Thursday, and Joe Baldwin picks it up on Friday night for you from the director chair. And the only other bit of good news I want to share with everybody, I made a point of it on Facebook this afternoon. Some club members already know. One of the reasons I was in Sydney last week, I had to go, and I'm on assignment at the moment, I'm away apart from the wedding yesterday, is that I went and saw my neurosurgeon. Some of you know the story. I had brain surgery, partly from, I had a run through of brain surgery on a 6 months old, but I had a second attempt at it when I was 25. The surgery got done a second time. An exact replay, if you like, of what was going on when I was 6 months old. Anyway, I went and saw the neurosurgeon the other day just for a checkup, just to see how it's all going up there after a recent MRI. Got the results of that. I'm in the wrong profession, folks, because I went in there, had some small talk with him for about 10 minutes, went out and tapped the FPOS machine and was light at $250 in the pocket. So he's going gangbusters, whereas me, I'm not sure I'll ever make an hourly rate that good. But the good news is I'm in the all clear, and he doesn't want to see me again until I'm 40 years old. So I don't go back and see him for 6 years now. So that's good news, and I wanted to pass that on to club members because I think I told some of you that I was going to the appointment purely because I had to explain the absence somehow. But yeah, brilliant news from my end to be able to pass on to all you guys. And now, instead of being a short-term planner, I can become a long-term planner. So I'm very happy about that. All right, we're done. It's been good fun so far, but our entree has been served and it delivered the goods. We stand by now for the main course. It is Monday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We go to Germany next. GT3 around the Nordschleife. It promises to be an absolute beauty. Hope you can stay with us as night one of week 6 of term 2 for 2024 continues for you across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube on the platforms of Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Nice to have you along for the ride. Monday night motorsport like we've never done it before for you on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. I know we've been here in other categories, but for the first time on GSRC Monday night motorsport as far as the Waste Options GT3 Championship is concerned, we are taking you to the Nürburgring Nordschleife for a venture around the longest track on the iRacing server, one of the most famous bits of motor racing real estate anywhere in the world. Have a look at this. 170 corners. Good luck remembering all the names of them. And good luck perfecting every single one of the 11 laps that await the drivers here tonight. We've crunched the numbers for you, ladies and gentlemen. 8 minutes, 12 seconds. The time to beat in qualifying. 8 minutes, 12.194 for Jared Knight. Drivers are still trying to put a lap together at the moment. Only 29 of them have done so. Some that haven't include Matthew Dench, if you can believe that. Also Colby Cowham, Trent Allen, Jack Humphreys, Chufeng Wong. None of those guys have clocked a number just yet. There could be as many as 42 cars lining up on the grid here when we go racing for you very shortly. 25.18 kilometres this course. We're at 10:06 in the morning. That will update for you very shortly, of course, when we move into the race server. We're 6 minutes, we're about 3 minutes into overtime already in this qualifying session. Clock moving twice as fast as it would in the real world. 19 degrees the ambient, 23 on track, cloudy conditions, no chance of rain, according to our expert race server setter-upper, if that's even a word, Adam Lavis. And we are ready to bring you Waste Options GT3, round 6 of the season now, second of 3 90-minute affairs. And this should be one for the ages. There's certainly one well worth remembering because it is historic for all the right reasons. 250 points for Matty Dench leads his teammate Simon Nicholson, 219. Geez, they're a double threat when they're in here, aren't they, when Nico's on a regular basis. He hasn't been the last 2 terms. You got Ash Collins, Oscar Haynes and Richard Mitchell making up the top 5. You got Jared Knight, Thomas Foster, David Johnson, Richard King and Nick Wood making up the top 10. You got 4 different manufacturers within that 10, of course, including Audi, Ferrari, Porsche and BMW. Outside that, you've got to look all the way down to position 19 for the first of the Lambos in Sam Muir. And then beyond that for a few of the other manufacturers, Mercedes, Ford, and there's one more, and it's just escaping me at the moment. McLaren, of course, McLaren. So, as I look through the server tonight, Adam Lavis, we've got Ferrari at Jared Knight on top. Aaron Cooper and Richard Mitchum make it 3 different manufacturers in the top 3. Dylan Shepherd's in the Porsche. That's 4 in the 6. And John Merritt and Cam Culverwell are driving the Mercs in a 7th and 8th, respectively. So that's exciting to have some Merc presence on the grid. There's a Lambo in the form of Jake Jackson out there in 15th position. Any love for the Ford or the Merc? No. The McLaren? No. So there you go. 8 minutes, 12.194. So by our numbers, this will be an 11-lap race, no change, because 11s are 88, and then, of course, you get the 12-second carryover, but that's an extra 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So that's going to get you to 90 minutes and 32 before you add what could be, I believe, Adam Lavis, 2 pit stops tonight?
Should be, yeah. And just to bring you up to scratch with last night, you see Denchi had a DNF last week. So
yes, what happened?
So last week, qualifying was in the wet. And then the race actually started in the dry, but Denchi and Luthwaite forgot to change tyres. So they started the race on the wet tyres on a dry track and started to fall back through the field. And then it did end up starting raining later in the race after everyone was going to slicks. And Denchi made a blue going in the pits and got the wall and put himself out. So that's what happened to Denchi there last week.
All right. Now we wait. We're 6 minutes into overtime for qualifying. We're waiting for the checkered flag to wave and the server to close and switch over into race trim. And Kurt's telling us that McLaren Love is in the AM split at the moment. So we'll see how that's all going. Sam Chapman doing his best at the moment in 21st position. There are now 32 drivers that have posted a time. Still Matty Dench is not one of those. There are 34, 6, 8, 40, 42, 44 cars now in the server. And The numbers have been extraordinary, aren't they?
And Denchi isn't even on the track, so he ain't setting no time.
Okay. So Denchi's just parked up and said, forget this, bugger this. So, oh dear, I feel sorry for Denchi. This could be a championship. This could be a defining moment, not just in the championship, but also in the history of Waste Options GT3 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, because it could be, if Nico keeps going on, although I don't think he's in there either from what I've seen, but if they keeping on the way they're going, Denchi might not get the perfect 10. We have been waiting to see the king of GT3 racing dethroned. Maybe it's happening sooner than we think. We'll wait and see.
Alright, so Schmicky is the last person on track, so let's see how long the servo takes to actually get us to the race.
Yes, and that tells you, ladies and gentlemen, how long the overtime is going to be. Remember back in the days when we started at, 8:45 for Waste Options GT3? We're heading very much back in that direction. Come on, Adam Burhop, make it a 2-win streak is the instruction from Revolution E-Racing. And, yes, 8 minutes 12.194, the benchmark. Jared Knight is going to lead 4 different manufacturers to green. John Merritt with the late run to get up into 3rd place with an 8 minute 12.616. Aaron Cooper in the BMW and Richard Mitchum in the Audi are the outside of the 1st and 2nd row, respectively.
So just need if Jack Humphries and Chuck Fung Wong readied up, we should be good to go.
Yeah.
They're still seeing the pits.
Copy. So we're going to have a few non-starters here. That is evident, but just how many will become clearer once we get the field formed up. And that's a good question too. I mean, is too much Nordschleifer too much Nordschleifer? I mean, the iRacing world was running the Nürburgring 24 around here over the course of the weekend. So we'll wait and see whether or not they are going to turn their back on the Nordschleifer as a result of that. Hot Lap's back from his promotional tour. That's the instruction from Pulse Tuning. Great to see Hot Lap back out there, actually, and in a Merc too. That's exciting. We will wait for these drivers to line up on the grid for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a solid 10 minutes of overtime attached to the qualifying session, which makes sense because just had a bottle of water being passed through from inside. Thank you, Mum. Appreciate that. I couldn't get inside between the end of Super 2 and the start of GT3. The things mothers do for their sons. Gotta love that. Jared Knight, Aaron Cooper, John Merritt, and Richard Mitchum, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 10 minutes of overtime, which is fair, Adam Lavis, because when you think about it, the gaps out here tonight could balloon out quite proportionately. Quite substantially, so therefore we are going to have a fair bit of overtime attached to the race. It could be as much as 2 minutes for the leaders, once you take the 2 pit stops into consideration and the transit time and whatever else, but it could be 3 or 4 minutes waiting for the rest of the field to make their way to the checkered flag. One thing is for certain, as Bob Colbreth tunes in and says good evening to us, and we say good evening in return. The reality of the matter is, mistakes are going to kill you around here tonight, either just in terms of positional battles and being in contention, or put you out of the race altogether, Adam Lavis. This is a challenge like none of these drivers have had for a 90-minute race ever before in our service.
I know it's going to be very interesting. It's a very technical track. I said 170 corners to remember. The best thing to do is break it into segments in your head. So you basically attack this part, then you have a rest, then you have to attack the next part. So the best thing, like Gran Turismo, when Gran Turismo first added the Nordschleife in, they did the best thing by actually putting in those little, breaking up into the little rally stages and letting you learn each segment of the track, and that really helped people learn the track. And the thing is,
but then it took forever to nail the full thing. Yeah.
well, you just have to put all those pieces together. But
Yeah.
the thing is, what I saw some of the guys in the chat doing is they could do that because they were using the iRacing's feature of setting start and finish points to do like replay certain parts of the track. So they were actually using that feature to just learn bits and pieces of the track, and once they got one bit, they go to the next one, and it's basically work their way through the track and learn it that way. Because it's one of those things. If you're trying to learn the whole track in one go, it's 8 minutes have gone by. You've forgotten what you did 8 minutes ago.
Exactly. This qualifying session is still running, ladies and gentlemen, so we apologise. We've obviously got a delayed start here because
Hey, there he goes.
there's always, there we go, we've always got carryover time attached to these races.
Hey, we're on.
And the length of time depends on the length of the circuit. So obviously when we go to Spa, Mount Panorama, Road America, etc., the carryover time's always more than, say, when we go to Imola or Brands Hatch. There's the grid for you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be racing into the dark, essentially. Actually, no. We'll be racing into the twilight because it's twice as fast a clock as it is in the real world, and that is already 1 minute gone, 30 seconds gone server time. So it'll be heading towards 7 o'clock local time, which, as we know, in the summer months in Europe, is not even anywhere near sunset. Hello to those of you in progressive and civilized parts of the world that observe that beautiful concept known as daylight saving. Jared Knight and Aaron Cooper the front row. John Merritt and Richard Mitchum the second. Brenton Jewell on the third row alongside Adam Burr, Hop, Dylan Shepherd, Oscar Haynes, Nick Wood, and David Christensen make up the top 10. Second batch of 10 for you. Glenn Arnott and Andrew Hazard, the two teammates from Twitchy Foot on the sixth row. Jeff Adams and Thomas Foster the seventh. Jake Jackson and Ashton Ardley from the 8th row. There's a name we haven't seen for a while. Daniel Piper and Dave Oliver from 9. Blake Fitz and Sam Chapman from 10. From 11, it's going to be David Johnson and Colby Callum. From 12, it's Stephen Banks and Andrew Neal. From 13, David Bernays and Jamie Welch. From 14, Matt Schmidtke and Dane Snowden. From 15, Paul Wood and Sean Benici. From 16, Greg Heaney and William Yarwood. And then all those that have not set a time. And I can give you an indication that 40 of these cars have taken to the grid. No Chris McDonald, no Ryan Mulder, no Trent Allen, no Matthew Dench. So, I mean, behind William Yarwood in 33rd, even though, hang on, what's going on here? Sean Benici is showing us 31st on my WhatsApp. So, Greg Heaney, William Yarwood, then Adam Hayne, Richard King, Glenn Wilkinson, Dave Riddell, Chuk Fung Wong, Adam Chiplin, and Jack Humphreys. So that's the best I can do for you, ladies and gentlemen. Of those that haven't set a time, they're hoping to burn from the stern and hoping that attrition plays its part. And to be fair, Adam Lavis, I feel as though attrition should play its part here. Because, again, for all the factors we've already mentioned, and some of these guys have got more experience around here than others, there will be, I anticipate, a high attrition rate tonight.
It's very challenging this track. One small mistake, big curbs here. Also, if you touch a curb wrong, and as you can see, like here on the straight, that's about as much as runoff as you got anywhere on the track. There's maybe a handful of spots that could be extra runoff, but 90% of the track has that much. So if you go off the track, you're in the Armco, and Armco equals damage equals slow. And
yep. And only one fast repair, or is it two?
I believe it's one for the pro guys.
Yep.
And then the other factor too is if you can't get back to the lane, that's going to be a good 15 minutes sitting there twiddling your thumbs.
Especially with the tow rope. Yeah. 100%. Rightio. So here we go, folks. 90 minutes and or 11 laps, whichever comes first. 11 laps is what we anticipate will be the journey tonight, unless we get a safety car, God help us.
The interesting thing too is, like, normally when people don't set lap times, it puts them in iRacing order, but I'm not sure what order it's put these guys in, because it's got Denchi way down on 40th when only 25th qualified.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's exactly right.
We know Denchi's got a good I rating.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it said 32 qualified in the end. William Yarwood, when I last looked at the clock and last looked at the leaderboard before the server ticked over, William Yarwood was showing 32nd with the time to his name. So let's wait and see. Have a look at that for sight, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers have been fantastic in Laced Options GT3 throughout the course of this season, and tonight is no exception. We get set to rock and roll from the Nürburgring Nordschleife. The safety car's about to pull to the pit lane, and the field will be in the full control of the pole sitter Jared Knight for HTS Racing. He's got Aaron Cooper alongside him. When he hits the gas, we go racing at the Nürburgring. He didn't muck around. He got going. John Merritt capitalised on that and went with him on the inside of Aaron Cooper on the run down towards turn 1, and they're 3 wide already. Here we go. 4 wide, in fact, on the run to 1. They are aware it's a 90-minute affair, surely. Can they get through turns 1 and 2 unscathed? Surely there's got to be a common sense approach there, knowing that it's a 90-minute affair. You do not want to kill yourself on the opening lap. Great start. What a sight that was. Oh no, round goes John Merritt. John Merritt's looped it. Thankfully to the exit of the corner, to the outside, to driver's left. And Merritt has dropped down the order a good 10, 15 positions now, down to 18th, and he's getting swamped, he's getting gobbled up as they make it up towards the Schumacher rest for the first time. Jared Knight the leader, Aaron Cooper into second, Adam Burhop up 3 spots into third, 2 Bimmers in the 3 at the moment. 5 different manufacturers in the top 10, Ferrari, BMW, Audi, Porsche and Mercedes. And Lambo represented through Jake Jackson down there in 15th. And Revolution E-Racing just highlighting that Adam's having livery problems again. I wonder if Revolution E-Racing is our good mate Graham Stewart under a different user handle, because he loves throwing the barbs this early in the piece. Now, out they go off the Grand Prix circuit onto the full Nordschleife circuit. And already the side-by-side action begins, but you notice, Adam Lavis, just how much this real estate narrows, tightens up on the run through the back of this magnificent racetrack.
Yeah, going side-by-side through that downhill sweeper is very game. It's very easy to run off the track there and cause problems. And now we get into the real tough section. So this is the first sort of challenge for the guys. This sort of slalom section, a bit like Coda, it slows down each way. A little bit of grass there from Dylan. Then we got the run up the hill into the sort of first of the sort of mini jumps before the double right onto the first of the back straights.
There'll be some airborne work here tonight, I'm sure. Have a look at it.
They actually are getting the front off the ground there.
Oh, grass. Kicked up by the car in 5th place.
I think it was, the early mention, yeah.
So 2 minutes 40 gone. And you just get the feeling, because there's so many different elements, fascinating elements to tonight's race, but this 90 minutes is going to come and go pretty quickly. And it's a huge lap. 11 laps is all we're expecting. But within that, it's going to be over 225 kilometres, 275 kilometres in fact, tonight. So they're going to rack up the miles, there's no doubt. Let's hope that we can get through cleanly. 40 starters in total, and Sean Benici opted to start from pit lane. So no McDonald, no Dench, no Allen, no Mulder, and Josh Juno, I believe, might be in race control, although he... was he out there for qualifying? It says he's listed as a driver, but it was a very late addition if he was. So he's not out there at all. So 45 in the server at some point tonight, and 40 take the green flag. A mid-afternoon sprint around one of the most famous pieces of bitumen anywhere in the world, and it's not just the Nordschleife, but it's also the Grand Prix circuit, the full course that we're on tonight. That's Jamie Welch getting turned around at turn 2, so there was a little bit of stupidity early in the piece. That was John Merritt, yeah. He just looped it, and it looks like he went all on his lonesome.
No, I think he did get a touch from Bretton.
From Jewel? Okay, let's have a look.
Not Bretton, Aaron Cooper.
No,
Cooper.
Can't have been.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there it is. Aaron Cooper turns John Merritt around. That was definite touch. Definite contact. You heard the sound effects coming through the earpiece. Now, here's Dave Riddell.
And Foxhole. Just easy to just run wide there. It's not too bad.
It's grass. Yep, that's okay. He's all right for the moment. There'll be a few of those tonight, I would suspect.
Oh, look at this cluster. Up the hill for the first time.
Dear. 6 of them in the battle pack. And let's hope that there are battle packs right throughout the course of the night. For this very reason, what a magnificent sight that is. Spectacle.
And it's John Merritt, the cork on the bottle here. You wouldn't expect that.
No, not at all. He's really struggling in 16. Down 13 spots on where he started. Oscar Haynes off the road. Oscar Haynes is off the road and plummeting down the order.
He's towed.
Let's have a look at what the hell's going on there for Oscar Haynes.
He possibly didn't lift for the one corner you have to lift up here. So this next left, you need to lift. Yeah, he's just gone a bit too deep. That's not going well.
Into the wall. Oscar Haynes on the tow rope, the first casualty. The first one to be bitten and spat out here at the Nordschleifer. Dave Riddell also on the tow rope as well. Riddell and Haynes in pit lane for Twitchy Foot. Disastrous start for them, and Matt Schmidtke having a moment as well, but I think he got some assistance.
Oh, Dave's done the same thing. Oh, he's lost the rear. He's almost saved it. He almost saved
it, and then crunched goes the front end. Oh dear. Bad luck. Jamie Welch now on the tow rope as well. So too. Look out. Welch gone. Is he going to get collected? No. Glenn Wilkinson's showing off the road now as well. Jake Jackson's had a moment. There they are together. Yep. Oh dear. We need to have a better look at that, more to the point.
Sorry about that.
You're right. Jake Jackson.
He's just...
Oh, no.
He got away with that one. And then that one was very optimistic, Jake. There was no way that was happening.
And Oscar's saying that his PC continued to freeze, so that's what's brought about his demise. The old, graphic glitches minus the P, yes. Thank you, Scott Wooden. I thought for a moment he might have been saying garlic.
Cam Cole just pulled over.
Yep, he did too. And
he may have a slow down or something. What's going on here?
Cars running wide everywhere. So, already, we are slowly but surely losing contenders.
HTS boys, though, they're having a great day.
They're having a magnificent day. HTS 1-2, Knight, Cooper, Burhop, Shepherd, and Mitchum through the opening lap unscathed. Mick Wood up 3 spots, Glenn Arnott up 4, Jeff Adams up 5, and David Christensen up 1 make up the top 10. Brenton Jewell is 6th. I did skip over him because I was looking for green boxes on the opening lap. Christensen to the inside. Slipstream's going to play a huge part down this enormously long bit of real estate.
Ferrari's coming back in, though.
It connects the second last sector to the end of the lap, and it seems to be an increasingly common thing these days for Oscar. Our guys had 3 separate occasions during the iRacing 24 on the weekend. 24, yeah. Interesting. Main straight. 1 gone. And 10 to go at the Nordschleifer. Jared Knight, Aaron Cooper, Adam Burhop, Dylan Shepherd. Remembering that the white flag should fly, right? About what are our numbers suggesting there? It's saying that it would be about 90 minutes and a half or so for those 11 laps, right? So the last lap board should fly somewhere in the 83rd or 84th minute, which would have to be the earliest it's ever flown for any of our GT3 races. Let's hope we don't get a safety car, Adam Lavis.
I don't think we'll have one of those.
No. You'd have to have a dead set blocked track, no one able to get through if that was the case. Out comes Sean Benici. He's just gone in and burned his fast repair early. And in comes Thomas Foster. Oscar Haynes parked up out of business. Jake Jackson as well. So too Jamie Welch. Dave Riddell remains on the tow rope. So does Jackson. But by gee, if they're there for much longer, they'll go down a lap. At least already they're down half a lap. Meanwhile, back to Dave Oliver in 17th. And so already the beneficiaries out of all the rubbish on the opening lap. Richard King and also Adam Chiplin up 10 spots apiece. Jack Humphreys and Chuk Fung Wong up 12 apiece, and Adam Hayne up 13 spots on the opening lap. The end of the second cycle around the Grand Prix course. Out onto the Nordschleife proper now. A 24-hour course. And it's lucky we're not doing a nighttime race around here, because the headlights would be getting one hell of a workout, and you wouldn't want to be losing them through contact of cars. Dane Snadden in the thick of it at the moment. So we're watching the battle for positions 19 through 26 or 7 at the moment. Right, that's Dane Snadden in 22nd. Have a look at the traffic behind them. So 20th is, of course, Adam Hayne. He's all over the back of Colby Callum like a cheap suit. So Stephen Banks behind. Then Dane Snadden. A gap then of just over a second back to Neil, Johnson, King and Fung Wong. Has Paul Wood for company in the battle for 26th. Jeff Adams under pressure, under assault now from the current 11th, which is John Merritt. So Merritt, even though he was back in 17th about 6 minutes ago when we last checked in, what a fight back this is! Merritt into the top 10 around the outside! Oh, what a move. As we say, bugger all real estate around here, Adam Lavis, in terms of the track width. So to pull something like that off is real exceptional class from Hot Lap.
And he really flew with danger there, because that crest can easily throw the car wide on that really big fast sweeper. And once you get in the grass there before the open hairpin, it's big trouble there with a nice sand trap waiting for you to take you for a bit of a slow turn.
Really? Oh, there goes Adam Chiplin.
I think there was something else that happened before that. Here we go.
Yeah, I think so. Have a look at this. This is lap 2 of 11.
Oh, it sounds like someone spun in front. They have.
Bang! Oh dear. Nothing he could do. He was coming into the corner blind. Nothing he could do.
I think it was Jack Humphreys, number 39.
And then it'll go on, and he'll end up. Will he end up pulling?
I think he had
inside,
to. I think he had to pull over
or
the toe.
is he limping it back to the lane?
I think he tried and gave up and had the toe.
Yep. He's on the tow rope. He's gone. Tommy Foster's got back out there. So too Sean Benici. Jake Jackson's been on pit road for 6 minutes now. 7 minutes for Dave Riddell. We've already had 2 retirements. Oscar Haynes and Jamie Walsh. Stephen Banks in 21st place. This is the good thing about an event like this, Adam Lavis, where some of the guys that wouldn't normally get the airtime, let me say that much, are going to get some airtime tonight. I'm excited about that because of the attrition rate, because of the contenders that haven't turned up, because of the contenders that are going to fall down the order. Well, Dave Riddell dubbing himself in.
Also the big news now too. So Ditch said the DNF last week and a DNS this week with endurance points on the line. So that's 90 points he's given up tonight. Yep.
And has he got a drop? No, this would be the second drop round, wouldn't it? He won't have anything to fall back on.
And I think he also had a sprint round race where he DNF one of the races in the sprint. So he's already got a dodgy round.
Yep. Oh, speaking of dodgy, the BMW on the curb on the triple strip. Dane Snadden, lucky not to bounce into the cars around him.
And Andrew Neil,
up on his outside, is that, Andrew Neil, wow.
Yeah, Andrew Neil got his promotion up from Split. This is his first race in the pros. And as soon as I announced his promotion, good old Greg Heaney was straight on the phone and signed him up.
Yep. Straight on the phone. Can see the talent. Can spot it a mile away, can Greg Heaney. Andrew Neil up 3 spots already. Loving his debut at the Nordschleife. And why wouldn't he? Baptism by fire in the pro split and handling it superbly. 14.5 minutes gone. We're only on lap 2. The leaders have got a quarter of lap 2 to go. The gaps are already ballooning out. I mean, from first back to 33rd, it's 50 seconds already. So that gives you an indication into regards to the sort of night we're in for here, and that's what I'm saying. We could have 4 or 5 minutes of overtime waiting for the field to come home to complete that 11th lap. Anyone that's still on the lead lap here at the end will be doing well. Thomas Foster in 35th place, the last of the runners that hasn't, actually no, he has transited the lane. He was there for 21 seconds on the opening lap, and Sean Benici was there as well. So top 33 yet to stop. That's probably a good thing. I don't know whether it's going to be 4, 3 and 4 or 4, 4 and 3 in that order as regards to pit stops. Piper with a moment, gathered it up, 19th place. The tribute to the Renee Gracie side of life with that livery, if memory serves. That's actually coming up soon. Revealed. Something she's already done, of course. But they're doing a documentary on it anyway.
I was thinking of Papa done going off at YouTube. Oh, yeah, it's too.
Oi! Bang!
No, that's why he was slowing down. He's got wheel damage.
Yep. So there's a fair bit going on out there at the moment. Already, a few cars in a fair amount of strife. And this is Thomas Foster. This is why he's in pit lane.
No, he's got too greedy.
Oh, no! Into the wall and gone for Thomas Foster.
It's one of those corners you think you can take it flat, and then all of a sudden, as soon as you're in it, you're like, oh no, I can't.
4 cars already retired, Adam Lavis, in 2 laps, and Thomas Foster being the 4th. Chiplin's still on the tow road, has been on pit road for 5 minutes. Dave Riddell has been there for 11 now. Chapman into 16th.
Oh, Dave Oliver's going to push this. I was going to say.
Don't get too greedy, Dave.
The thing with racing in the North Slope, there's a lot of spots where it's not a rule, but it's like turn 8 at Adelaide, where you need to get out of side by side by a certain point.
Oh yeah. Now, I got bad news for the people tuning in at home with regards to 75% markers tonight. 8 laps won't cut it. You're going to have to complete 9 laps in this race to make 75%.
So there's also a caveat. There's a caveat with the 75% rule too. There's if you finish at least if it's less than 8 laps anyway, then you just got to be within 2 laps of the leader, I think.
Yep. Because it's 2.75 times 4 is 11, so 2.75 gets you back to 8.25. So 8, it's a quarter of a lap away from that 75% marker, but then 9 is so much closer to 80%, it's not funny. Oh, have a look at this. Have a look at this. Adam Burhoff.
Oh, he's going for it.
Around the outside.
It's Dylan Shepherd in the Porsche. Really try.
Burhoff under serious pressure here from Shepherd, and Mitchum wants in on the fight as well. Mitchum to the inside.
Oh, they're both gone.
Contact, they're gone. Mitchum and Burhoff are gone. Gifting Shepherd and Jewel 3rd and 4th. Burhoff's going to lose out to Woodnarden as well.
I think
lap number 3 and the fireworks go off. Oh, Burhoff got help.
So
Mitchum went to avoid.
Mitchum was by himself. Burhoff was a little wide. It looked like they got sort of locked together. There's a little bit of neck Cody sort of locking there. It's unfortunate.
I'm just hearing down the line as well, sorry, Johnny. So maybe has John Merritt been caught up in something, or is there another John out there that we're not sure of? Let's have a look.
I think it's small Glenn went off a trigger in front of him, I think. Hang on. I think Glenn said a moment here. And, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Merritt around the outside. Good evasive action, good race awareness.
Oh, bad bump for Chuck. That was unlucky.
Yep. Oh, jeez. And what about the evasive action? Was that Woodsy behind him, or was
Believe
it somebody?
so.
Yeah, Paul Wood. Yep, very nicely done to avoid that. But see, that's the thing. I mean, it's so much more than just the usual, you know, protocols tonight, for lack of better words. I mean, you have got to be so alert to what's going on around you. You're going to have to take evasive action at short notice because of the fact that this is the most extremely difficult track that will throw these drivers on all year in Waste Options GT3.
Especially in a tight little battle plate like this one.
Yep.
Because as we've seen, most of the little instances, they're very, very small mistakes, but then they just amplify with the fact that you're trying to react before you get to any danger zones, and sometimes it just goes the wrong way.
Indeed. So Dave Oliver in 17th at the moment. Was nice to catch up with Dave. Nice to catch up with Dave at Sydney Motorsport Park over the weekend. We happen to be in the same precinct. And I didn't even get to talk sim racing with him and ask him whether he was going to be lining up on Monday night. So nice to see him out there running 17th at the moment.
I would see a little moment out of the title again,
dear.
but
Yeah.
he's got going again.
Andrew Hazard in 15th place and doing a nice job of it.
Surprised DJ is this far back. This has been one of his bread and butter sort of races here. But he's back in the clusters of the field here.
Oh, and contact as well. Onto the grass goes Johnson. Ooh. Yeah, you're right. It is a little bit surprising, but if tempers simmer and he just calms down and eases into it, as the attrition builds, he'll be the beneficiary. He'll find his way back into the top 20, I would suspect, before the end of the night.
Another
Oliver
person
under pressure here from Hayne.
And see, Hayne's a different story because Hayne didn't qualify, so that's why he's trying to get up here. He's wasn't able to set a qualifying lap, so he's trying to make up for a bad quality session.
So, 23 minutes gone, and so much has unfolded already. There's only 1 second between Jared Knight and Aaron Cooper. Dave Oliver under the pump here from Adam Hayne. And you shouldn't be going too wide through parts of that real estate, boys.
Dave did make a mistake there. Adam went for it, and Dave was nice enough to leave him the room, but didn't leave him the position. There he goes. Yeah, he's decided that that was a bit too hectic, and he just wants to run his own race.
There you go. Yeah, that's fair. Dave's going to let Adam Hayne go. Nick Wood under the pump from John Merritt here, who's on the comeback trail at the moment. Good luck, Nick Wood, dealing with the pressure that is a former champion in this caper, two-time GT3 champion, John Merritt.
Nick Wood.
There it is! The pressure was back. Oh, no! Contact! There was nothing Merritt could do! Nick Wood's gone! Merritt's got damage! That might bring about an unscheduled pit stop for hot lap. Jared Knight's about to complete the third lap.
David Grish's though, he's having a blinder.
And Merritt is getting swamped now because he's going to be down on some speed down this long straight, aerodynamically speaking. He's lost the downforce, he's lost the front end, and this is how. Nick Wood, they were both checked up on the curb. And Wood on the grass was a passenger. Bang!
See, I think Johnny's mistake there, you can see from a long time that Nick was going to come across the track there. I think Johnny got a little greedy trying to...
Yeah.
Really, John should have let out of that, just let him maybe spin and gone past. But you'll regret that one later. Yeah, not much he can do once he committed to that move. Oh, Greg's got broken suspension.
No. Yep. Dear idea.
That's not good. Hang on, here we go. This might explain the suspension issue.
So already Adam Burhop to the road, so too John Merritt on pit lane, and Greg Heaney's been there on the tow rope for a couple of minutes.
Oh, he's
Dave
done something
Riddell's
else.
still on the tow rope, still on pit lane as well. Everybody else that's headed to pit lane has checked up and gone, except for Adam Chiplin, Sean Benici. Oh.
This is very unlucky for Greg. He's only just grazed the wall and it's broken the rear suspension on him.
And Daniel Piper. Watch this.
Oh, it's actually like, it's more of a neck code. It's like a neck code scraping the
barely
wall.
scraped it at all.
And it's broken the rear suspension on him. That is unlucky.
Yeah. John Merritt, Adam Burhop, Nick Wood to pit road. Greg Heaney, Dave Riddell still on there. Thomas Foster, Oscar Haynes, Jake Jackson, Jamie Welcher parked up and retired. Everybody else still running at the moment. 8 minutes 14.484, the fastest time of the race so far for Aaron Cooper. Ashton Ardley there in 11th. Ashton, would he be any relation to Kai Ardley?
I think they are related, but
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's been a while since. I think they are.
Luke Turner asking the question, will they make it home from a pit stop now? I would imagine not.
No. I'm pretty sure from memory. I'll do the math and I'll get back to you.
Copy. Thank you. "27 minutes gone. We're watching Ashton Ardley. Striking livery on that Bimmer of his. Jared Knight, the leader. 3 different manufacturers in the top 3 at the moment. Richard Mitchum makes it 4 in 5. And Cam Culverwell has the Merc in 9th place at the moment. But we've had some of our contenders stop already.
So
Burhop and also... Oh, hang on. Did John Merritt, Adam Lavis, did John Merritt get a stop and hold penalty? A minute 4.63 seems like an awfully long time to be stationary.
he might have. We'll have a look in a sec. I believe so. Just I think it's around 40 minutes of tank life, I believe. So 40 minute range on the tank. So obviously they're doing,
which would be 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, they're doing 8.5 minutes, so they can't quite get 5 laps out of it.
Well, they'd have to do a little bit of fuel saving, because if they can get around in, you know, I mean, if the leaders can get around at 8:14, that's 40 minutes and 50. That's 41 minutes and 10 seconds. So, I mean, they'd have to do a little bit of fuel saving to get 5 laps. So we'll know in a moment, because in about 4 minutes' time, we'll have them on pit road at the end of lap 4, if that's the case. John Merritt.
Oh, he's way fast. He's way fast.
Gone.
He is blown that by a mile.
Yeah, by a country mile. Merritt done for speeding. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Stop and hold hot lap Merritt. I was wondering why the bloody hell he dropped down outside the top 20. I was like, it can't have been that bad. The damage, fast repair, he'll be right.
Yawa did the same thing.
Yep. He did indeed. Oh, poor old Will. Adam Chiplin finally got back out there after a 9-minute stop. Greg Heaney got back out there after 3:40, and Chapo's gone. The next casualty bites the dust.
He just got beached in that curb.
He's still showing out there in 21st position, so he's obviously trying to limp it back to the lane. And in some instances, Adam Lavis, that's going to be better than getting on the tow rope, if you can.
If you haven't got steering damage, you can get back. You're going to save a buttload of time.
For sure. Adam Hayne in 13th right now. And Dave Oliver 14th, Colby Callum, Stephen Banks, Andrew Neil, David Johnson make up the top 18. Then back to Dane Snadden and Richard King in 20th. Jared Knight, the leader, and he's got good company in the form of Aaron Cooper. 8 seconds on the pack. But as we've already seen tonight, 8 seconds is nothing around here. That's, I mean, that's 1/60th of a lap, put simply. Because 8 goes into 480 seconds, which is 8 minutes. Quite evenly, it goes in 60 times.
So it sounds like Nomenson's had a problem in the AM split.
Yep. He won't be alone. There'll be a long tail of walking wounded tonight. There is no doubt about that. Greg Heady got back out onto the circuit after 3 minutes 40 on the tow rope. Yeah, I expect a flurry of pit stops this time by Chuk Fung Wong in trouble. Fung Wong's in the wall. Gets back going, but I'll tell you what, that BMW is looking worse for wear. Have a look at this. Was there David Johnson in 19th, still having a crack, trying to get by Dane Snadden. And Andrew Neil. And he's got Richard King for company behind. So it's a 4-way fight for 18th position in the car race. How good. 31.5 minutes in. We're anticipating pit stops either this time by or next if you can stretch it out. An extra lap. But good luck doing that. 4 seems to be a relatively safe number though, Adam Lavis. If they jump now, they can do one more stop and get home because we've only got 11 laps. So 4 and 4 is 8 or 4 and 3 is 7. And as long as you've got enough fuel in the tank from there, another 4 gets you home. And you're just lucky that you don't have to then go and do a pit stop afterwards. Or, sorry, you don't have to do a cool-down lap and then get into Parc Fermé that way. If it was real-world motorsport, you'd have to have enough tank fuel left in the tank to do a cool-down lap, a slow-down lap. So, no, I don't think that would be... Although, actually, I don't know. I don't watch the Nürburgring 24 because it's not on mainstream platforms. It's on YouTube or something.
So in the real world,
would they bring you in just after you do the Grand Prix circuit?
Yeah. So in the real world, you just do the GP. You just pull in at the end of the GP track.
Yeah. So you'd only need another 5 kilometres worth of fuel in the tank. So only a couple of litres. So that's 4 laps gone. Jared Knight is across the line this time by.
They also do a smart thing too.
And they are going on for lap 5, Adam Lavis. Just wanted to point that out.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, very. That's why I wanted to point it out.
Well, yeah, they're pretty close to it. Like they're only going to save a little bit of fuel to make it.
A minute and a half.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That's not too bad. So, and interesting with the real Nordschleife, what they do is for the qualifying sessions, they allow you to basically just do the GP circuit final corner, and they put cones up to designate like a lane for the people starting laps and people already on the Nordschleife lap.
Yep. So there you have it. Cam Caldwell to pit lane. He's pulled the trigger and he's come in. Interesting to see that we've got a few people that have gone lap 3. So they're playing safe 3-4-4 or 3-5-3. And that's the other option now that you've got in this race. These guys that are going to 5, they could potentially be pitting when the white flag flies. They could be potentially pitting on the white flag lap if they want to burn the candle that far, twice. So literally the definition of a splash and dash for 1 lap. 34 minutes gone. Hope you're enjoying Monday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. I was a little bit worried, Adam Lavis, I must say, coming into tonight, that it might become somewhat dull and processional. But thankfully, the 34 minutes we've had so far have been rather lively.
You've got a fair few packs still. We've got, like the last the GT4 race was spread out a little bit when we did it a couple of weeks ago. But these guys are still sticking in little cluster groups. So it's we've got plenty of little bits of action. And it's one of those things, like, once you get stuck behind someone, even if you're faster, once you get onto the Nordschleife, there isn't really many places you can make a safe move without the other person making some sort of mistake. So sometimes you're stuck behind a person for a whole lap and you just got to wait till you get to the next part of the track where you can actually get the overtake done. So then the pressure's on yourself to keep that tight gap so that you can capitalise once you get to the overtaking zones.
Absolutely. Oh boy. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Jeff Adams. There's trouble brewing here. They're side by side. Adams yields. And Hazard holds on for the moment, but he's got Hayne, Ardley and Fitz breathing down his neck. Dave Oliver's moved up into 13th place. Have a look at the amount of drivers. They're 21, 22, 20... 22 drivers are going on to lap 5, 23, 24 before their first stop. Oh boy, there's pressure mounting here. So many retirements already, 4 of them. I'm a little bit surprised that number's not higher, but we've also got drivers that are well down the order as a result of early race attrition. Mick Wood is about to be lapped, in fact, after a 7-minute stop on lap 3. So many stories to tell out of this one so far. So much to pick apart. That is Richard King. We're riding on board with him. He's chasing Dane Snadden.
Oh, good run here. Can he make it work?
A great run. Up the outside to the inside.
No, he's backed out of it.
No.
Wasn't quite as brave as Johnny Merritt.
He was hoping to hang tough around the outside for the inside there. Right there, that corner. The right-hander. How about that? So Richard King doing his level best here to keep Dane Snadden honest. Is BMW v Ferrari. Good battle this. Both these guys keeping each other honest, and of course within striking distance of some cars ahead of them as well. Andrew Neil is only a second up the road. In the meantime, this is Adam Chiplin. He's second off of the night. Grass.
Or damage.
Yep. Can he limp that thing back to the lane? And he's already burned his repair, I would say. Oh dear, he's back in the lane. It's Adam Chiplin. Uh-oh, Bernays! More Armco! And almost tried to drive it through the Armco, did Bernays. Did you have a look at the wheel spin? My God.
Oh, Chuck just being smart there. He knew he made a mistake, so he's going to hold on, made up. Very smart driving there.
Indeed. And that's the thing. Smarts is required tonight as much as speed is. Race smarts. We've seen a few of it on a few of the little dot points as far as race smarts and racecraft are concerned on display already tonight. Unfortunately, we've also seen a couple of people that you wouldn't expect to run into trouble. But that's the joy of a circuit as notorious and as difficult as this. Steeped in history. Adam Chiplin still on pit lane. So too Dave Riddell. Dave may as well just park up. He's been there for third in the race. He's not getting classified tonight. And Aaron Cooper. That's the fastest up the race. Are we going to see the leaders? Surely we've got the leaders coming in this time by Adam. In fact, pit lane should be very busy at the end of this lap. It should be the top 21 all the way down to Paul Wood, plus Bernays, Humphreys, and Wilkinson. So there should be 24 cars and drivers making their way to the pit lane for their first splash and dash of the night, and maybe some tyres as well at the end of this lap.
Which will really, the fact they got 5 laps in, that's really going to open the strategy up for them for this next stop.
Oh, hasn't it?
Because they can basically, do a 3 and a 3 or a 4 and a 2 or whatever they want to do.
Or a 1 and a 5, or a 5 and a 1. It's quite interesting now. Will we see anyone jump in again at the end of lap 6 and just do 2 5-lap runs? It is doable. We're at the 40-minute marker now. 50 to go. Keep your eyes peeled on the race leaders. We've got our eyes on Adam Hayne right now, all over the back of Jeff Adams. So Adams in the Ferrari, Hayne in the BMW, and then Ardley, Fitz, Oliver, Banks, and Cowan, with Neil, Snadden, and King making up the top 18.
For starting at the back, Adams done a real good job to get his way through the field. As we've pointed on, it's not an easy track to pass on, and despite there being probably some cars that may have pitted, and so it's not quite at the legit top 10, and I've just jinxed him.
Oh, there we go, into the Armco. Oh dear.
If there's
The bitumen's a little bit out of whack there at that part of the circuit. It's bumpy as well, and Haynes' night could be done.
Well, the plus side is he's pitting now anyway, so he's got rear suspension damage. He just needs to be careful in the sweeper.
Oh, he's okay. He's on the straight. He should be good from here. He's just got to get through that little dog leg to the start of the lap. Leaders in. Knight and Cooper are in. They're 11 seconds up the road from Shepard and Jewell, who should be coming in as well. Oh dear. Yep, the commentator's curse. The mocker has struck again. Shepard and Jewell to pit road. And everyone in this time. Mitchum, Christensen, Arnott. Then Hazard, Adams, Ardley, Fitz, Hayne, Oliver, Banks, Cowham, Neil, King, and Snadden.
It's a bit unfortunate for Jaden. He's sharing the pit with the 38 car, having to park inside.
Yes. Oh dear, that's good. A sea of activity. Are we in any way, shape, or form able to just leave the pit camera there for the moment and watch all these pit stops transpire, or have we got to?
We can start this one.
Yep, excellent. That's lovely. Because I know some instances are just you've got to have the camera on a specific car, but if we can watch this all unfold and just see for yourselves at home, ladies and gentlemen, just how bloody well busy this pit lane's become.
The other positive.
That's fantastic.
The other positive, because of the increased tank size with the 72% tank size. Oh, who's at the back doing a 45-degree angle park? I think it's Chuck.
Oh jeez.
But it's taken it. He went up with the jack, so it's accepted. He's accepted it somehow. So that's interesting. His exit's going to be a bit tricky, but. But as I was saying, so with the 72% thing, normally with the 42% we normally run for the 1 hour races, it's slightly less fuel time than tyres. But here they can all take tyres and know that the fuel is going to cover it in this stop, but they won't get that luxury in the next stops unless they do the 5 and 1.
No. Correct. Well, even then, how much fuel have you got to take for one? You know, that's the unknown there.
So Daniel Piper is the Burhop in lap 3. So he's the sort of the cat fish out of water there in that group. So he's put himself back up to 6th place. But he is going to have to put 2 lots more fuel in than the other guys around him in the next over the next 2 stops.
So Mitchum to the left-hander, and then out onto that notorious bit of road. So many famous things have happened on the Nordschleife over the years. The most famous, Schmidtke, and too greedy with the curb at 1. Yeah, that's unlucky. But, I mean, there was a whole movie based around one of the famous events at this circuit, Nicky Lauda's moment in 1976. Adam Hayne, second moment of the night. Back-to-back laps for Adam Hayne. Front end damage, 2 laps on the trot. Haynes in trouble again. Richard Mitchum the beneficiary in that pit stop sequence, but unlike everybody else going for 29 and 30 seconds, Mitchum has gone for the half fuel. 13 seconds. And therefore, we know that he's up to tricks with regards to fuel strat. Bit of gamesmanship on show already here. Everybody that's gone for those 30-second stops, Jared Knight, Aaron Cooper, Dylan Shepherd, Brenton Jewell, David Christensen, also Jeff Adams and Blake Fitz. They've given themselves a little bit of luxury. Ashton Ardley as well. They've given themselves a little bit of flexibility. They can come in now or any other lap on the way to lap 10. It's for someone like Richard Mitchum, I'm thinking anywhere around lap 7 or 8. I'm not going to see too much more from Richard.
Hardly got a speeding penalty.
Yep. Right, copy.
But yeah, there you go. You got the stop times and then the transit time and then the lap number. They put it on there on the screen there.
L5 for a lot of them. L5 for a tremendous amount of them. Piper the exception of the rule, so too Johnson. See, I told you John would move up to 13. Looking good. He stopped for 18.3 seconds, so he's on a short run as well. And John Merritt back into 24th now. Minute 12 off the leader, and that's what a stop and hold will do to you of 50 seconds or so. A minute 4 that opening pit stop for John Merritt. A minute 5 for Cam Culverwell. So the two Mercs, the only two of the three Mercs in the race have had a pit lane penalty.
Oh, actually, no, sorry. I hardly didn't have a penalty. He just had a slow transit time for some reason.
Yeah.
He must have been caught napping
William
with
Yarwood was the one that got it. Yeah.
He must have been caught napping with his fuel, or he must have had a little bit of optional repairs and didn't realise he could go. So maybe he had a little bit of optionals, and the fuel had stopped and it was done, but the lollipop doesn't go up if you have optionals. So you actually got to be watching your little black box to notice that you can go. So maybe it's caught him out and he's lost a few seconds there.
Oh dear. Have a look at this. That was Aaron Cooper. Second place. And still holds the fast love of the race. He's only 1.1 away from Jared Knight. That's Colby Cowham. Deep into the corner and the Porsche. Well, went to send him left, then send him right. Into the barrier. The front end disappears from that motor car.
Well, doesn't want to let go.
There it goes. Yes. Oh, you gotta love the software, don't you? The animations and the realism.
Yeah, the new damage model's been a real.
Last half race distance, boys.
The new damage model's been great. It's added a real sort of sense of realism to the way the impacts happen.
Yes, that's it. I must admit, it's been a long day. I am looking forward to hitting the hay tonight, but I'm also looking forward to seeing how this race plays out. So it's a case of burning the candle at both ends, just to see the finish line and the checkered flag here. 48 minutes now gone. We're at the end of lap 6 this time around. So the first stop was around half a minute, so the second stop will be a little bit less than that. The transit time is the important thing there. So you're going to add a minute to the clock. So we're looking at a good amount of overtime tonight, let's be perfectly honest. We were already looking at, for an 8-lap race, we were already looking at, before we got going, at least half a minute of overtime. So it's now about a minute and a half of overtime that we're looking at. But the other thing as well, Adam Lavis, it's well worth noting that amount of overtime will actually probably be a little bit more, because we were basing the calculations originally, theoretically, off the qualifying numbers, which were 8 minutes 12. We are nowhere near an 8:12 at the moment. 8:14, 4:84 for Aaron Cooper, the best so far.
Yeah, you're probably looking at about 8:15 average, 8:15, 8:20 average. And then also you got to take about a minute and a half off for stops. So there'll be a little bit of extra overtime in that.
Absolutely, there will be. 49 minutes gone, and Richard King in 18th place. So this is the processional phase of the race now, folks. This is the part that we probably weren't looking forward to. We were dreading, but we were anticipating. A little bit of extra groundwork for Adam Lavis and I to do as we go through the next short period of this race, because there's only really 3 battles out there on the racetrack at the moment.
But they're still not that spread out. As you can see on the track map, majority of the cars are in that sort of third quarter of the lap.
That's fair. That is fair. And actually, to be fair, even further, the margins only have gone wide because that's what iRacing does. As soon as it's over 1 second, 1.00, David Bernays finds the Armco. But if you have a look at those that are within 2 seconds, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, 5. So, I mean, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, there's a whole heap of cars within striking distance on this track. Incidents like that will help people progress their way up the order. Unfortunately, that's Jack Humphries. Still interesting to see not too many people taking the invitation of the tow rope, the offer of the tow rope there at the moment, despite some incidents that time around. That last lap time, 9 minutes and 3 seconds. So that gives you an indication as to where we were with regards to pit lane transit time.
Yeah, that's the normal time plus the lap, the pit stop time. So they have 45 seconds loss in the lap times for the hits. Now it actually is a fairly good representative because the timing line is at the start of the pit lane. So it basically is this lap is the full transit time.
I love social media. I'm getting notifications on a couple of different pages tonight because of events that have unfolded over the last couple of days. But I've just stumbled upon a post from sarcasm_only on Instagram. How do I become a billionaire by 9 a.m. on Monday? Please, it's urgent. I think everybody's feeling the same vibe about that one at the moment. Yes, Adam Hayne. The curse of him is the best I've seen for a while. That's very good. And a fair point. That was William Yarwood having his second moment of the night. The first one being the stop and hold in pit lane. The pit lane has welcomed Adam Hayne and Colby Cowham this time by so too Matt Schmidtke. Now, are those guys up to no good? Are those guys now going to get on the run to the checkered flag, a 5-lap run? Are they doing what we suggested that some might and going one stop at 5 laps, the other at 6 laps, and then doing two 5-lap stints accompanied by a 1-lap splash and dash in the middle? We'll wait and see. It certainly looks as though that's what Cowham's doing. Schmidtke and Hayne, though, it looks a lot worse.
It could be one of those ones that gives you a bit of track position and clear track, but it's sort of a high risk option because if you've taken your last pit stop with 5 laps to go, that's 5 laps you've got to go without making a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. Easier said than done around here, as has already been well illustrated. Well done too, by the way, to everyone up there in Brisbane throughout the course of the weekend. In metropolitan Brisbane itself, 150,000 people attending. Well, so they say, but it wasn't the same 150. Like it was, there were some returning visitors within that 150,000 that bought tickets to all 3 days of Magic Round. They'll just say it's 150,000 because that's the ticket number. Brisbane wasn't that packed. Brisbane wouldn't be able to handle 150,000 extra people. But all in all, a very successful Magic Round in the NRL. 7 games decided by 12 points or less, 2 converted tries for those who are playing along at home. Well done to everyone in Ipswich as well. Another great instalment of the Ipswich show by all reports. Radio, West Brom Radio were out there, my crew, but obviously I couldn't be with them because I was down here. But yeah, it seemed like a busy weekend in Queensland, therefore a good weekend to get out of Queensland. In the meantime, that is Brenton Jewell in 5th place, and we've got 36 minutes to go. We've got Adam Hayne getting back out on the racetrack after 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Matt Schmidtke remains there after 1 minute and 47. Yeah, I don't think their 2 incidents were related. I think it's just a case of they're on pit lane concurrently, simultaneously. So, still we have... Oh, Jack Humphries is parked up. Jack Humphries has become the 5th retirement of the night. So we're down to 34. Which, to be fair, Adam, is a lot less attrition than I was anticipating tonight, which is testament to the skill set of these blokes.
You know, there's been lots of little spins and stuff, but most of the guys have done well to minimise the damage. Like they've got enough damage to slow them up, but they've been able to get back to the lane and fix it up. No one's had like a real big crash yet, so that's probably the one. So we've got, worst case scenario was that lap 1 if someone near the front had a moment and blocked the track. That could have been devastating, but we got through that, and now we're all good. It's a matter of everyone keeping their nose clean and trying to do their best laps they can do.
I did that once on Project Cars. Couldn't get it. No one could get back to the lane, and there's 36 cars piled up in the middle of the racetrack. That many of them bent and broken that no one was going anywhere. That was the original Project Cars. It was rubbish. And I must admit, 3 wasn't much better.
Yeah, 2 was
probably the
2 was good. 2 was good. But one was good if you had a steering wheel, but you had a steering wheel. But 2 was probably the best of the lot.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, I was able to successfully navigate a full field crash, a full circuit blockage on the Nordschleife on Project Cars 1. I'll never forget it.
Project Cars 3 is a perfect example of how big companies are wrecking the gaming industry.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it was just the higher ups wanting to do what they could to make money, so they said, "Oh, Forza Horizon makes money, make it like that."
Yeah, exactly. I should have actually just gone straight back to JB Hi-Fi and said, no, sorry, thanks, but no thanks, give me a refund. That is rubbish. I was trying to think of what the terminology for this circuit was, and I had to Wikipedia it, because for whatever reason I was thinking Green Mile because of the movie. No,
Green Hell.
Green Hell is what this place is affectionately known as. And you can see why, because, I mean, look at the green to the left, to the right, in the middle, where we're stuck at the moment. It's fantastic. Green Hell.
Speaking of hell.
Yes, Chapo. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, he's going way too fast in the foxhole.
Go on. See you, Chapo.
Oh, it's probably the one.
He did very well.
It's the one spot with runoff, so he's got away with it.
He did very well. He's actually running down in... Where's Chapo at the moment? 21st. And no surprise either, ladies and gentlemen, that because it is such a long lap around here, we've got everyone down to Matt Schmidt who's still on the lead lap.
So, in
fact, Nick Wood as well.
Do we think Cooper is going to settle for second, or do we think some team orders are going to be thrown out the window in the next few laps?
No. Hang on. Graham Stewart, good evening to you. Welcome aboard. The Burhop Special running minutes. Oh, no. I love it. That man is welcome here anytime he likes. 32 and a quarter minutes to go. Adam, you were saying about Aaron Cooper, were you?
Well, yeah, I was saying, do we think he's going to settle for second place and play a team game, or is he going to throw those team orders out the window and put an attack on 90 in the last few laps?
One little slip from 90 and he's gone. He's through. I'd say one little slip from 90 is all it's going to take. And how happy would Jared Knight be, if he was to be able to nail this? That would be something. No team orders apparently for HTS, so they're allowed to race. But how many times do we see this? If it's a battle pack at the front, they're just happy to follow the leader and go through the motions for the first 2 stints and then pull the gloves off and pull the trigger for the third. Down the main straight they come. There's no reason for Cooper to have a make a lunge, make a move just yet. Jared Knight's driving a beautifully controlled race. Aaron Cooper, fastest lap. 8:14.092. He's absolutely nailed it. He's right there putting the pressure on Knight. Knight not putting a foot wrong. Cooper not putting a foot wrong. No reason for those guys to play games. Richard Mitchell to pit lane, just top up the tank for the 4-lap run to the checkered flag. And we've got 31 minutes to go.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Richard's obviously come in with his short stop. This is as far as he can go with his track position and fuel strat. Now the question is, will it pay off?
Yes. All these questions will soon be answered.
It all depends on when he comes out. If he comes out in this sort of a cluster like this, fellas, that's not going to be good.
No, he's in a bit of trouble if he does that.
I think he's coming. He's on the move now, so I think he'd be clear of these guys.
And apologies from me too, folks, if I'm a little bit fainter than usual tonight. It's a bit of a different setup at Mum and Dad, so I'm not as close to the microphone, or I'm a little bit lower than the microphone level. I can't actually flatten it anymore on the mic stand it's on, so I'll be I'll be as well behaved as I can be and stay as close to the thing as possible. There is Ashton Ardley moving into the top 10 and doing so very nicely on the inside of David Johnson on the run down to turn 1, and Andrew Neal to 15th, being relegated by John Merritt. Now, on pit road at the moment, Jeff Adams, Daniel Piper, Blake Fitz and Richard King all in to get their top up to go to the checkered flag, so they're good. And Matt Schmidtke's now been on pit lane for a full lap, so he's down a lap now. Everyone down to Nick Wood remains on the lead lap, but Nick, of course, has already done a pit stop on lap 3, and it was 7 minutes and 5 seconds, so he'll be due for one more to get into the flag. So will Greg Heaney, who stopped 3 minutes and 40 seconds there after lap 3, 2 minutes 10 for Adam Hayne last time through. But if our numbers are right, he should be able to do a 5-lap run and get to the flag. Oh, no, William Yarwood off the road. William Yarwood's off the road, and that will be a big moment for him. He's managed to get it back on the black stuff, but by G, he's dropped some ground here. He's lost some time.
Oh, that's a big issue.
And
he's got damage around here. He's got massive towing on both wheels now.
Yep. He's going to either have to limp that thing home or get on the tow rope, one or the other. I think he's going to try and limp it home.
His car is completely cross-eyed. The front wheels are pointing at each other, and the back wheels are in the fuel tank.
Yep. But he's going to have to be careful. If he's got anyone around him in close proximity like Adam Hayne, Hayne should actually reel Yarwood in here and overtake him. Dylan Shepherd, meanwhile, under pressure from Brenton Jewell.
Well, this is the interesting thing. So,
hang on. Is this Brenton Jewell in a HTS livery?
Yeah, he's always been part of HTS.
Yeah, but it's just showing on our timing monitor as team name none. So it's just thrown me off.
That'll be like from an overhang from when the HTS boys weren't advertising their name. I'll fix up in a sec.
Yep.
But yeah, so at the moment, we're not 100% sure how Richard's pit stop strategy is going to affect him, whether he's going to get back to his third spot or not. So if these guys are legitimately for third place at the moment, Dylan is the only person between the HTS boys and the clean sweep of the podium here.
Indeed, that is the case. And Dylan Shepherd running there in third place, but I mean, to be fair, he's driven a well-judged, well-driven, well-prepared race. There's no doubt about that. He's just not had the ability to go with the Ferrari and the BMW at the front. But if he can get in the way, if anyone's going to get in the way of HTS and a podium lockout, a sweep, it would be this guy. Adam Burhop's 10 seconds down the road. These guys are 14 seconds off the 2 leaders, who are only split by half a second at the moment. So they're well controlled. They've got it under control, I should say. Burhop, Christensen, Arnott are behind this lot. And then Hazard, Mitchum, and Ardley. But we know that Mitchum's good to go to the flag. The rest are not. So where Mitchum squeezes into this equation, it will be the telling point, I reckon.
Yeah, just go wait for that cleansing. We're going to wait for that cleansing lap and see where Richard falls into place.
Yep. He's 49 seconds off the leaders, but we know the pit lane transit isn't going to be that long for those guys this time around. So Mitchum needs to probably hit his markers and not lose any time or make any mistakes between now and the checkered flag. Back on board with John Merritt now.
Well, last time didn't end well when we were on board with John Merritt. See if this one's any different.
No. Right, let's actually just stay on board, and I reckon we turn the volume up here, Adam Lavis, and we'll jump back in if there's anything to talk about, obviously, but I reckon we turn the volume up and let everybody appreciate for a moment just the mastery of the circuit and how hard these guys have to go to work.
Well, yeah, once we get to the carousel, the section between the carousels is one of the best parts of track in the world, so we'll get to see that in a sec.
Oh, John Merritt on the absolute limit around the Nordschleifer. How good. Anything better in the world of sim racing? Here's some replays for you of what happened whilst we're on board with Hot Lap. That was Paul Wood having a moment. And losing a position in the process. And also, don't know who we're riding with here. But still losing the rear end and gone. Dane Snadden. Thank you, Adam Lavis. And Adam Burhop to pit lane now as well, folks. So pit stop's back underway. And Chuk Fung Wong through the right-hander. A little bit wide, missed the apex, met the Armco. How good. How good. Yeah, actually, that's a good point from Graham Stewart, the Sydney 2000 Olympic throwback livery. I remember a lot about that Olympics, just not the BMW.
The HGS trifecta is on.
It is. Brenton Jewell finally gets his man. Very nicely done. On the run to the end of the lap, Jewell gets by Shepherd. Job done.
And he's pulled a gap too on the GP course.
It's out to 2 seconds now, and they're not holding back. Just remember, folks, we're in that final 21.5 minutes of time, of regular time here. We're in the final 3 laps now. These guys, any one of them can pit now, top up, get home. That's the window we're in. Any single one of them. And right now, David Johnson and Sam Chapman have been on pit road and are now heading off again. So we're kind of at a halfway juncture, aren't we, in terms of the second round of pit stops. We know that Dave Riddell's been on pit lane for an hour and 3 minutes now. He's not parking up anytime soon. He's just going to sit there and watch the clock run. He's probably just watching everybody else enjoy the fun that he's signed out of.
After the talent exodus, he would be now doing some spottering for the rest of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. So Riddell's out, Jamie Welch is out, Jake Jackson, Oscar Haynes, Thomas Foster, Jake Humphreys, Chuk Fung Wong, and also, I think, Dane Snadden as well. So that's it. They're the retirements. Matt Schmidtke remains on pit lane after 18 minutes, and Adam Chiplin is the last of the runners on the circuit at the moment. He's a lap down on lap 7, and he's up 8 spots on where he started running 31st. But that last stop was 5 minutes 41 seconds, and given that it was at the end of lap 4, he will still need to stop again. Adam Burhop. Oh, cue a comment from Graham Stewart, and he got John Merritt on the way through. Oh dear. Adam Burhop and John Merritt caught up in another incident. And watch this again. Watch Hot Lap. Oh.
This time he took my advice. He slowed down and tried to squeeze through, but still the gap disappeared on him.
The second big incident for Merritt tonight.
They both towed.
They have both towed. Yep. So that's just about their night done. There's no redeeming yourself there. Thank you, Graham. Right on cue. Poor old Adam Burhop. Imagine having that to look forward to every time you make a mistake. Just this legend. Oh, there wasn't much of that going on where I was over the weekend, I can tell you. Merritt, Burhop, Schmidtke, Snadden, Long, Humphreys. Oh, into the wall. Big moment for Andrew Neil. And this is the other thing as well, Adam. We're in that window now, that point of the race where fatigue's going to kick in.
I don't know if it's possible if you can get a curse for someone, because I was just thinking about something for Andrew Neil, and then he's gone off. I was about to say he's one of the guys that's done really well.
Yeah, not so anymore. You're right, rough luck for Hot Lap indeed. And, yeah, a Chastain special. Yeah, that's
it's just Porsche on him.
Oh, have a look at him. Ride the Armco. Although in Chastain's case it was concrete, but point taken. Of course, how good was the All-Star race this morning? I mean, I'd much rather the All-Star race be on one of the fast tracks, but North Wilkesboro seems to be a good little spot for it at the moment. It's certainly getting the interest up and certainly getting the numbers in terms of eyeballs on seats at the racetrack and on TV. Just unfortunately a working day for a lot of people in this part of the world who will be watching it on replay as we speak. If they're not watching the GSRC, of course. So
also interesting. So Brenton Jewell finally got past Shepherd, and of the HDS cars, he was the fastest one last time by. Just unfortunately, it's not 14 minutes fastest.
No, that's right.
Probably 14 seconds, not minutes.
No. So Aaron Cooper still trials Jared Knight, and Brenton Jewell is 14.5 seconds down the road. 2 seconds now clear of Dylan Shepherd. David Christensen's another 15 seconds down the road. In the Aussie races BMW, 4 BMWs, 6 BMWs in the 10, 2 Ferraris, an Audi, and a Porsche, I should say. A Merc down in 11th in Cam Culverwell. Adam Lavis has seen an incident on his screen that we haven't seen yet. Brenton Jewell.
I think he's just made a small mistake because he's just here we go. He's just got a little bit crossed up.
Oh,
and Dylan's managed to capitalise here.
Yep.
Very.
Dylan. But that's the smart play, isn't it? That really is the smart play from Dylan Shepherd. Wait for a mistake, then pounce.
That's what you got to do.
Issue. Don't push each other at a point. Just go about your business. And at an appropriate time, somewhere in the next 2 laps, the gloves will be off, and these guys will be trying to pull out qualifying numbers. Half a second the margin first to second, 0.6 the margin third to fourth. And now, because of the mistake for Brenton, the leaders are out by 17 seconds. And Christensen, Arnott, Mitchum, Hazard, Hardley, and Banks and Culverwell. Oliver, Neal, Fitz, and then King, the top 15. Then we go back to Piper, Johnson, Bernays, Chapman, Wilkinson, the first of the Lambos. Cowham, Adams, Wood, Benici, Hayne, and Yarwood. Greg Heaney, the last of the runners on the lead lap, down there in 27th position. Nick Wood back on pit road. This will be his top up to get through to the checkered flag. Aaron Chiplin parked up. Everybody else, well, it'll be interesting to see if Merritt and Burhop can get back out there, boys. It'll be interesting if those two can get back out there and salvage something. But they've lost a lap there. You know.
Well, but they're also out of the points. They're in the 30s now. So
yeah.
Even if they get back out there, they need 5 other people to have an incident.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to see them get back out there, but the fact that they've been on the tow rope for 4 minutes already, and it's still it's a 6-minute lap at speed from that point at least. And good luck. And they may as well just park it. No, actually, you want to get out and see the checkered flag and do more laps around this magnificent circuit, get more miles around here. But is there any point in terms of the championship fight? No, is the answer from Adam Lavis, as you know. So the attrition rate now starting to build. Brenton Jewell back on by. The straight line speed of the Bibber does it again. Back by Dylan Shepherd on replay. He's texting me trying to define. Yes. Yep. Oh, actually, I reckon. By the way, when I was driving home the other morning, as cranky as I was, and the story to that I'll tell some people off air later. As cranky as I was driving home the other night, I bumped into 2 of those random pop-up bloody roadside speed cameras, and I was giving it a fair clip because it's the middle of the night, no one on the road. I reckon I was doing maybe 8 or 9 Ks over the speed limit and then saw them and backed out of it. So it'll be interesting to see what they clocked me at and whether or not I've got a ticket coming in the mail, but I'll pay it. I'll own it because I was determined to have a crack through that section of road on the way home. It was about 20 minutes from home, and I'd had a gutful of the day that was. Jared Knight, Aaron Cooper, Brenton Jewell, and Dylan Shepherd, David Christensen there in 5th place. And Waze is actually I do need to download the Waze app. I've been told that before, and I will do it as soon as as soon as I get off this broadcast.
It's-
I just haven't got around to it.
Yeah, Waze can sometimes put you on a bit of a weird route, but at least it's really good for telling you when there's cops or obstructions ahead. So that part of it's real good.
Yeah, Google doesn't pick that stuff up, I must admit. It does pick some stuff up, but not that. Here's Jeff Adams in 21st place. Under pressure from Paul Wood in 22nd. Down the inside goes Woodsy. And ahead goes Woodsy. Yeah, that's fair going. I like it. No, actually, I narrowly avoided 2 on the way home from Ipswich to from Ipswich to Cessnock last time, and that was a daylight run. So the fact that I did a nighttime run, they're not as easily spotted, I must say. Oh, we got some love from overseas tuning in on the broadcast right now. Have a look at the writing there. Now, that's David Bernays having a spin at turn 2. Long lap from there. Richard King back in 12th place now. It's going to be an interesting looking top 10, no doubt about that. Some of our regular contenders right there, as you'd expect them. But Stephen Banks up 16 spots. Dave Oliver up 9, is sitting 10th. Blake Fitz up 9. Richard King up 23 spots, sitting 12th at the moment. A minute 56 off the leaders. Have a look at some of the bloody margins here, Adam Lavis. My goodness, we expected this, but oh dear. Yeah, there is. You're right. And the roadwork section through there at the moment, geez. Queensland's an okay state between October and April, but it'll be even better when they finish constructing it.
If they ever do.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. You've got relatives in that part of the world. 11 and a quarter minutes to go. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm due for because I'm one of those people, Adam Lavis, right? And most people know my views on this. And law enforcement will get a serve from me at some point. And I've given a couple of friends of mine a clip about it before. The sooner they start booking you as much for being 10 over as 10 under, the better the roads will be. Because then you'll get some sort of consistent running. Because I make up for being held up by, if I'm being held up and I'm being detained at going, 85 and 100, for instance, that's a good example. I then want to go 105, 110 in a 100 zone to make up for it when I've got no traffic on the road. I like to balance it out. I will openly hold my hand high and proudly, firmly say that I will always go 1 or 2 k's over the speed limit, 3 or 4 on the highway. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. The motor racing person in me does not want to be a slowpoke.
So
and that's probably the friendliest way I can put it on broadcast.
Has Coops saved a little bit of fuel here to do a cheeky little undercut when they both go to stop here?
Yeah. Well, that's the point. The white flag should fly this time by. We know that, right? So keep your eyes peeled for Barney, but they're actually going to get the white flag from pit lane. They'll get the white flag from pit lane. Surely they have to. Here's Aaron Cooper. About to steal this one from Jared Knight at the down. Yeah, yeah, that's it, exactly. Oh, look. Can I just say, right, again, the motor racing person in me. Oh no, Adam Haynes parked up for the night. There's another retirement for you. On the tow rope and back in. Andrew Neal on pit lane as well and has been for 4 minutes. Aaron Cooper following Jared Knight through. Adam Hayne back on the tow rope. I mean, he's got to that 75% marker, so if he just sits there, he'll be classified. But he'll be classified in 31st position, and that's doing him no favours whatsoever. John Merritt's still on pit road. Adam Burhop. Oh, where's Burhop? He's got back out there. Burhop's got back out there. But Merritt has not. Merritt at the end of lap 9 will be classified as well. And so everybody down to Adam Hayne will be classified provided they stay in the server. Dane Snadden, the first of the retirements. Chuk Fung Wong. Matt Schmidtke. Jack Humphries, Thomas Foster, Oscar Haynes, Jake Jackson, and Jamie Turtle Welch.
Poor old Chiplin, he's got more of a beetle than a
had
Porsche.
Yeah, he's had a shocker of a night, hasn't he? He's had an absolute shocker. No, I'll hold my hand high on the subject of what Graham Stewart was just saying. The sign reads, keep left unless overtaking, right? I always intend to be overtaking. So I always drive in the right lane. And at least when I do, I'm doing that. You know, see, this is the thing, right? They'll book you for speeding, but how else do you overtake without winding the wick up a little bit? Right? Like, you would have to be doing more than if the guy on the lane alongside you was doing 100 in a 100 zone, you've got to be doing 102, 103, 104, 105 to be overtaking you. So you got to wind the wick up a little bit.
And
I will hold my hand high and say I'll always be the one wanting to do the overtaking.
And as we all know, those guys who are doing 85 in the 100 zone, when that double lane comes out, all of a sudden they're doing 102.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't get me started. We could write a book on that tonight alone. At 1 hour, 22 minutes and 53 seconds gone. So Jared Knight should get the white flag this time by, but they should also be coming to pit lane. Let's go back to our leaders. Here they come. Aaron Cooper and Jared Knight to pit lane this time by, surely for a splash and dash to get them to the flag. Through they come. Right, left, main straight, pit lane. Here we go. And now is Barney there? Let's have a look. Have a look at Barney. Should be a white flag.
Barney doesn't. He's stuck in. Barney's in his little.
Barney's doing bugger all.
Well,
Barney's doing his usual job.
He's in his little glass house here. He can't, and he hasn't opened the window, so he can't wave the flag.
Taking the night off again.
Yeah, they are. See, there's two Barneys, but they're stuck in glass houses.
He's fallen asleep.
They got He's got a white flag in his hand though, so that's a start.
Okay, good. Maybe one of the drivers.
Oh, it's on.
Mitchum. Oh,
he's got him.
Have a look at that. He's got him all right. Aaron Cooper with the overlap. Cooper's going to lead us to the turn one on the final lap.
Oh, he's gone deep though.
He's gone very deep. Pulls it back. Cooper leads Knight. Just under 25k to go.
So
90. Is the prick waving it now because Richard Mitchum came along the main straight?
No, the fact he had a white flag in his hand is effectively him waving it. But on this track, because they put him in the glass house with no windows, he can't actually wave the flag animation because he's stuck in his little room. But he had it in his hand, which means it is his white flag lap. Copy
that. And we are significantly over time on the platforms of Gentlemen Sim Racing Club tonight. Significantly. This race was meant to start originally. It was scheduled for 8:30. We didn't get going until about quarter to 9, and now it's 10:15, and they're only just starting the final lap. We're being asked to check for an unsafe pit release. I don't think iRacing acknowledges that. Let's have a look at Cam Culverwell. Uh-oh. Bang. Narrowly avoided the double whammy of rear and front. And in the meantime, Aaron Cooper leads Jared Knight by 3/4 of a second. The race for third's on as well because Dylan Shepherd's got back by Brenton Jewell. Now, is that strategic gamesmanship from Jewell to follow him through to that long stretch of road that brings them back to the checkered flag?
Oh, Dylan.
Have a look at him. Have a look at him.
Well, that's a bit...
They're interlocked all the way to turn one.
That was a bit...
What the hell's going on there?
That was a bit sneaky / naughty from Dylan there. He's taking advantage of the pit lane physics where it keeps you ghosted until you've unlinked. Once you unlink, you go solid.
That is extraordinary. It really is.
So Mitchum's getting back himself into 5th, and he's actually not too far behind Brenton Jewell, actually. Oh, Piper.
Oh, Piper. It's an unlucky 13. Now 14 for Piper. As David Johnson moves through to 13.
Right.
See, I told you Jono would ease into the top 20. Have a look at him. Fantastic. Or, actually, can you just keep an eye? Dave Oliver is trying for a 6-lap run.
Of course
Dave Oliver only stopped on lap 5. He is trying to limp it home on one less pit stop than everybody else.
Of course he loves the fuel safe, but
He loves it. This is a huge
he's going to save like 6 or 7 minutes of fuel.
This is ridiculous if he can pull this off. There's no doubt about that.
But what we do have is almost a 3-way fight for third here.
Yep.
Mitchum isn't that far back.
Yes. I'm loving the banter from Graham. Keep it coming, son. Well done. Aaron Cooper, Jared Knight, Dylan Shepherd, Brenton Jewell, Richard Mitchum, the top 5. 4 different manufacturers in that 5. BMW leads. Ferrari second for the first time tonight. Jared Knight's not leading this race. Then the Porsche. Then the Audi of Richard Mitchum is 5th. And he's only 20 seconds off those guys. So, I mean, he served a little bit of an invoice early in the piece and he never recovered. Blake fits into the wall. Hayne and Chiplin and Schmidt is still on pit road.
You can see with these low set GT3 cars, these high curbs, you see you got beached there. Sparks came out, got the centre of the car beached in the curb and lost control.
John Merritt's parked up, so too Ashton Ardley. And Andrew Neal is still out there, but he's a lap down. Nick Wood is as well. Just keeping my eyes peeled. William Yarwood's the last car on the lead lap at the moment, except... Oh, no, Nick Wood is also. Nick Wood is just on the lead lap. But he may not be by the end of this. Oh, dear. All right, Cooper, Knight, and Shepherd and Jewell. Keep your eyes on Brenton Jewell. An HTS lockout of the podium is there for the taking. But it's reliant on him getting the job done on Dylan Shepherd in the final sector of the final lap.
He needs to
on the way to the checkered flag.
We've seen that if he can get in the slipstream for that run down the straight, he's got the power to get there. He just needs to get in that zone. He can't let Dylan pull away in the final sector of this lap.
Yep. That whole trifecta, that lockout rests on his shoulders. What a way to finish on a Monday night from the Green Hell. Whew. It's been a marathon, and there's no doubt about that. It's been fun. A little bit processional in the middle there, but it's livened up with a few laps to go. And still 1, 2, 3, 4 active battles on the racetrack, which is extraordinary for this time of the night. And the first 2 of them are 1 and 3. Have a look at this. Jewell throwing everything at it. But again, Dylan Shepherd up to the fight, up to the task. Back we go. Bernays and Wilkinson fighting over 20th and Fitz and Johnson fighting over 12th. So Johnson's moved up to 12th again. There's a couple of other beneficiaries there for the taking should someone slip up, like a Sam Chapman, like a Paul Wood, like a Stephen Banks.
So a little bit of defensive driving there.
Or a Richard King.
From Dylan has brought Richard back into the fight here.
Yep. So Mitchum's there. So you're going to have 3 different manufacturers, all from Germany, I might add. You're going to have Porsche, BMW and Audi, all fighting for the final spot on the podium when we get to the back straight. We're there any tick of the clock. We've got a quarter of a lap to go for our race leader, Aaron Cooper, who's out to 1.3 seconds now on Jared Knight. I think that job's just about done for Aaron Cooper, provided that he doesn't miss an apex or a marker between now and the checkered flag. Oh, geez, Richard Mitchum really threw it away. Oh, they're throwing everything at this. This is great stuff. Oh, dear. Expecting 11 laps to be driven at pinpoint precision. I like his expectations. Maybe just a bit too high. All right. Aaron Cooper and Jared Knight should be on their way to the back straight. We've got Brenton Jewell here all over the back of Dylan Shepherd, trying to defend Richard Mitchum as well. They're all within a second of one another. Can you believe there's a 3-way fight for the final place on the podium on the final lap? Past 7 o'clock server time. Clock expired by about a minute and 20 seconds. Aaron Cooper is on his way home. Jared Knight trying to wheel him in. How can you take your eyes off this? Have a look at Knighty. Look at the slipstream here. Cooper and Knight. Is it going to be Jared Knight's Knight, or is it going to be Aaron Cooper? It's Knight around the outside on the final lap. The Ferrari goes back to the front. A last gasp overtaking maneuver to take Ferrari and Jared Knight to victory lane at the Nordschleife. Main straight checkered flag, HTS 1-2, and maybe 3. Dylan Shepard's in the grass. Shepard's in the grass and misses out on the podium. It is an HTS 1-2-3. It is Brenton Jewell holding off Richard Mitchum. What a night for the HTS stable. Shepard all on his own. Porsche doing Porsche things. Grass gone. Oh, there was definite contact between those two cars. Definite contact. Bang! He got sent.
That was a.
Oh, can I use the word provisional top 3 now?
That was a little bit naughty on both of them there a bit. But I think Dylan was sort of more the instigator out of it.
Can I suggest that Ben might have a point? That he was. Oh wow!
Oh, yeah,
what a moment! What a moment!
Quick photo there for those guys.
It might be an unofficial one.
Oh no, Woodsy said a moment on the last lap.
We've got a while here, folks, while we wait for the rest of the field to come round. As you can appreciate. David Johnson. This is him holding off Stephen Banks. And that will be 11th for Johnson. Richard King, the story of the night, up 25 spots from 35th to 10th. Has already taken the checkered flag. And then Jono and Banks. Jono and Banks, hang on, have a look at this. Photo finish for 11th. Banks is going to pip him. Banks does pip him. Banks gets 11th. Johnson 12th. Then Piper, Fitz, Culverwell. Then Cowham. Fitz ended up on the tow rope, I think, on the final lap. Drove through pit lane to get the checkered flag. Culverwell, Cowham, then Chapman, Adams. We're watching Bernays and Wilkinson. Oh, hang on, no. Has Banks taken the check? Yeah, there it was. Yep. Have a look at this. There was definitely a car that went right into the pit lane across the line. That was, as I said there earlier, that was Fitz. And that is Banks edging out. Johnson rides the barest of margins. Wilkinson gets 20th. Bernays goes 19th. Paul Wood has had an incident on the final lap and won't come home. Sean Benici 21st. Adam Burhop 23rd. Greg Heaney, William Yarwood, Nick Wood and Andrew Neal. Ashton Ardley, the leader of a long list of retirements. And did Dave Oliver make it to the line? That's a very good question, actually. Did Dave Oliver make it to the line? I'm just having a look through here. Yes, he did. In 9th place. Dave Oliver on a one-stop to 9th. What about that? Holy moly, there's a lot to take out of that. There is a lot to pull apart out of that. Oh, holy smoke. That is awesome. Not a bad racetrack choice, Adam Lavis. Well done, but I think now we can officially say we've had enough of this racetrack for the weekend.
For now.
For the month. Yep.
It'll probably be back in the future, but
we'll have to come back, and we'll have to throw weather at them next time, I reckon.
Yeah, well, at least now I've spent me 8 hours for getting the camera set up so that they didn't look horrendous. So now we have it there ready to go.
I love it. No, you've done well, mate. You've done a great job, as you always do. So
there's still. I noticed there's a couple of little spots where we need to fix up little things, but that's something to do later. But at least now we aren't looking in a long lens for no reason.
Meticulous attention to detail. That's what I like about it. I would gain sleep if Nordschleife disappeared. Yes, that's true. I think I would too. I mean, already, what's that, 25 past 10? We haven't even started the post-race show. Oh, she's going to be a late night. Adam Burhop across the line in 22nd position. What might have been for Burhop had it not been for the incident with John Merritt.
We're still going to wait for Nick Wood. He isn't even at the carousel yet.
No. Wood's on his way home. He's got just under. He's got 2/5 of a lap to go, just under half. Oh. Parry Anastakis tuning in. It wasn't to be for him on Saturday night. But yeah, well done, all toughest track in the world. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Good to hear from you, mate. And it was good to catch up with you on Friday night and Saturday as well. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Sean Benici saying it's 4:30 a.m. for him. So
Yeah, I think he's American.
Is he over to the States at the moment?
Pretty sure he's American,
yeah. And I'm just trying to think. Trying too hard to be Bath. Last night, late night indeed, it's 4:30 a.m. Well, hang on, I'm just trying to think. 4:30 is 18 hours behind the 10:30. We're on the west. He's west of the west coast, because, and I say that because Richard Mitchum and Jared Knight are about to join us as Greg Heaney comes to the checkered flag. Because the west coast is only 17 hours behind at the moment. So it'll be 5:30 on the west coast and 8:30 on the east. Oh, he's in he's in Alaska. That'll do it every day of the week. Very nicely done. Thank you, Sean. 4:30 in Alaska. I could imagine better places to be. Which is why you're behind the sim rig. Well done. Magnificent stuff. We've got Richard Mitchum in here. We've got Jared Knight in here. Richard, I dare say there might be a little bit of a post-race investigation going on. And you had a bird's eye view to the incident of the night. The talking point at the end there, Brenton Jewell and Dylan Shepherd. And unfortunately, there was always going to be a loser in that.
Depends on whose perspective, whether it's unfortunate or not. Zach, I think...
you got yourself fourth out of it, mate. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out quite okay to me. I think Dylan was being hyper aggressive the whole race. I got some damage from one of his moves earlier on, which kind of simply compromised my race. But after that, I mean, kind of went a bit different on strategy to make sure that we didn't get jumped once I used my fast repair, because we were losing like 5 seconds a lap versus where I could be. So short filled and then to jump forward and then to my second stop. So I think best of an okay night. I think if I'd really pulled together quali, I would have been there with Jared, and I think if we got away without the first lap shenanigans, could have been a good race up with Jared and Aaron. But congrats to both of them.
Absolutely, mate. I think you did a marvellous job, actually, to be 20 seconds off the leaders at the end there. And it's such a notoriously difficult. Finally, the race results come through for you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get leave them up on screen for a sec there for us, Adam. I'll get to them in a sec. I just want to ask Richard one more question before I do. I think tonight we got a real true indication of just how difficult this joint is and the price you pay for coming unstuck anywhere in the lap, because it just compromises you, and an inch is as good as a mile around here when there's 25 kilometres to contend with, and there's such a vast variance in terms of the price you pay in a time sense for any small amount of damage. So that hamstrung you a little bit in the opening stint, but by gee, the Audi pushed through well, and so did you.
Yeah, definitely, right. I think we lost that 20 seconds in that first stint, right? I think pace was there. I don't think I was much quicker than the leaders, but I was there or thereabouts, I think. And yeah, it's a tricky track. I think Denchi obviously came into practice and didn't have the pace that he usually does, so decided to not race. So it's I guess it would have been nice to have us all beat him on track, because I think we had the pace on him this week.
And it's certainly paid dividends for you guys that persevered with it. I mean, we know that Denchi's got one drop round at least to fall back on, but he'll be backing himself to still find a way to the top step of the summit, irrespective of whatever's happened before now. We know the DNF last week, the DNS this week, one DNF in one of the sprint races earlier in the season. But for you guys that are trying to rein him in and break one of the great streaks in GT3 racing, 9 consecutive championships, that was a nice leg up for you tonight, his absence.
Yeah, I think I haven't looked at the championship. I've had a couple of it's been an average start to the season so far. It hasn't gone particularly well, so I don't think it would be me challenging, but see if someone else can continue a streak near the front.
All right, very nicely done. And as far as the Audi's concerned, mate, I mean, how are you finding that throughout the course of this season, and how excited are you? And I'm looking forward to asking everybody this question, with news from iRacing's end that the Ford Mustang's going to be phased in the next big update that they drop at the end of this season.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think I watched the first GT World Challenge race where it was racing in France, and it was a rocket ship down the straight, because I don't think they've got the aero quite figured out. So I don't know whether the iRacing are doing the same balance of performance, where it's just going to be an absolute weapon down the straight and pretty tricky around the corners. So it'd be, interesting to see what comes out.
Talk to me about the challenges of this particular racetrack. I mean, we've already highlighted what happens when you're hamstrung, but mate, trying to navigate your way through, I mean, it was only 11 laps, but it was over 275 kilometres. It was 170 turns each and every lap. No two sectors the same. The easiest part of the lap is probably the Grand Prix course.
Yeah, but I mean, Grand Prix course, you can easily do some time, right? So it's
100%.
I mean, I think time-wise, you can lose just as much in there, but obviously the danger level's a lot lower. But yeah, and the 24-hour was at the weekend, so I did the 24-hour, but in the Beamer, so it was just jumping in the Audi in practice and figuring out what the differences were. And yeah, it's just not got quite the straight line, but it's a bit more planted through some of the fast sweepers.
And now that you've got through the Nürburgring at 24 at our 90-minute sprint, are you happy to see the back of the Nordschleife for a little while?
I'm actually going there in 2 weeks to watch the real thing.
No, very nice.
No, I love that track. Like, I've been fortunate enough to drive it a few times, not race it, but do a few laps around there. I absolutely love the place. So no, I'll be there in a fortnight's time, so I'm going to miss a few more rounds.
Yep.
To watch the real thing.
All right, so I mean, probably no good asking you about Road Atlanta, because that falls into that window, and maybe Algarve as well. But we've still got Suzuka to come. So we've got 2 sprint rounds: Suzuka, Road America back to back. Road Atlanta back to back, and Algarve for 60, and Road America for 90. Even if you are going to miss those rounds, what are your thoughts on those circuits ahead, mate?
Yeah, so actually, I think I should probably only miss one. So I'm here next week. It'll be the week after that I miss. So it should be just one. I think I've missed one so far, so that'll be my 2 drop rounds. So yeah, any of the poor driving or poor results are going to be showing in the end of season. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, very nicely done. Now, just by the by, I'm just having a look here, making sure that I've got the names right. We've got Jared Knight standing by. We've got Brenton Jules standing by. We'll have a chat to those guys in just a moment. And we've got Aaron Cooper as well. Rather historic night for the HTS stable. 1, 2, and 3, just for good measure. The burst of the Twitchy Foot Boys is who we're talking to at the moment, Richard Mitchum. And Blackout Dylan Shepherd not here at the moment. Greg Heaney standing by for a chat. And so too is Ashton Ardley. Can't wait to get stuck into those guys in just a few moments. Rich, well done, mate. Congratulations. Great to see you on the pace tonight. Case of what might have been at least you and David Johnson reminding us that he got 12th as well. Pipped at the post in a photo though, Jono. Come on, it could have been legs 11. Mate, great to see you continuing the good pace whenever you're able to be with us, and we can't wait to hear your report from the real thing in a couple of weeks' time.
Cheers, Zach, and congrats, Jared, for the win.
Indeed. What a night that's been. A hugely entertaining night, a hugely successful night, but really for these guys, rather challenging as well. Let's talk to the two blokes that had probably the best night out, namely Aaron Cooper and also Jared Knight, because they shot off into the sunset and checked out and won this thing by 19 seconds. Jared Knight, I'll start with you. Did you get a little bit nervous when you saw Aaron Cooper lead you around to start the final lap, or was that gamesmanship from you blokes all along?
Yeah, I kind of actually expected him to pop out a little bit further up the road because he just spent 82
minutes on the clacker.
82 minutes sitting behind me. So yeah, the fuel tank should have been well and truly a lot fuller than mine. But yeah, it was just I think Aaron sort of mentioned it. He was just sort of lucky enough to sit in the tow, and we just sort of crawled off, and it was really quite a gentle race, given you're doing 170 corners a lap. But yeah, congrats to Aaron. He probably should have held on to that, but I don't think he's in a championship fight, so he was kind enough to let me slide on by. And
well, hang on. Was he kind enough to slide you on by, or was the slipstream just that good for you?
The slipstream was good, but he could have fought it a little bit better, and could have weaved a little bit more. But I'm still in this championship, so every point counts. And but yeah, he probably he drove super well, so he probably deserved the win in the end.
So let me bring in Aaron Cooper on that note. Mate, firstly, well done. And secondly, we were being told earlier in the piece that there were no team orders. So your view of that last lap, please, and why Jared was able to go on through. Was it gamesmanship? Was it sportsmanship?
Oh, I probably could have got past Jared earlier on there, but I thought I'd just stick behind him, save a bit of fuel, and maybe if I popped out behind him on that last lap, I could have got him down the straight.
This is true. And to be fair, you guys did have the best seat in the house tonight. You were able to just poke one another along, push each other through, and not. You didn't really have to worry with regards to anybody else, with the exception of the occasional bit of lap traffic. But it didn't appear as though there was much of that either.
Yeah, I saw at the start there we had enough pace to sort of like skip away, so I was happy just to sit behind Jared. I think his car was faster in the first stint, and then after the pit stops, the Beamer sort of came alive a bit, got a bit faster.
Indeed it did, and actually that's an interesting way in which to steer the conversation in a different direction. I love the straight line speed of the Beamer, Jared, but there's nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong with that HTS Racing Ferrari of yours.
Nah, she's got a bit more aero, so you can tend to run a little bit less wing and have a bit less drag, so it kind of matches the front engine monsters a little bit in a straight line. But yeah, I 100% agree. I sort of I think it was after the first stop, a couple of laps after that, Aaron just seemed to be sitting there with ease, and I was starting to struggle a bit. It's just I think the nature of the Fez, it's just hurts the fronts a little bit. So but yeah, the set was nice, and able to hang on.
All right, very nicely done. You wouldn't fair dinkum believe this, boys. I'm sitting here and I'm having a look. Fancy giving me admin rights to a group, and it's asking me to approve or decline people, and there's a few people meeting the decline button, I can tell you. Let's pick it apart from your standpoint, Aaron. The Beamer, did you feel as though that was the best car to have around here tonight?
I raced that during the 24 hour, so I had done however many weeks worth of practice in it, so I knew the car and I knew it'd be fast.
talk to me, you two blokes, about when you work this out. That I mean, we were looking at the strategy numbers, and we thought if you play it, say 4-4-3 or 4-3-4 or 3-4-4, one of those combinations would work for you. When did you realise you'd be able to go 5-5-1?
I think it was just run it to the tanks empty and don't have to worry about fuel saving, don't have to worry about any of that sort of stuff.
Okay, so no fuel saving at all for you, Aaron.
There was, but that was only because I was behind Jared and I could.
All right. Nighty, what about you?
I didn't have any fuel data for the first 3 or 4 laps, so I wasn't 100% sure of exactly what number I was hitting or if I was going to be able to make. I think if you went mega fuel save from the beginning, you probably could have done it in one stop. With that, I don't know if that necessarily would have been the faster strategy, because you would have had to have run obviously a lot slower. But yeah, I think we kind of just agreed that the push strategy was the way to go.
Indeed. Talk to me about tyre wear, boys. Did we take some rubber during the first stop?
Yeah, both. I think Aaron took a full set, and I grabbed a full set as well. Just doing bulk laps over the past couple of weeks. The wear's not terrible, but they tend to overheat throughout the course of the lap. So yeah, a nice fresh set of boots was definitely needed.
Aaron?
Yeah, I was definitely going for tyres. I knew that the fuel would probably cover them, so it was just a no-brainer just to grab tyres. But the tyres would probably be good for an hour, and then give out on that last half an hour maybe.
All right, very nicely done. While I think of it as well, the fact that your teammates, the fact that you two push one another along, just follow the leader all night long, did that take the pressure off, knowing that you didn't really have to worry about engaging in battle or defending your position, so to speak, as opposed to if it was a John Merritt or a Richard Mitchum or at the end there, Dylan Shepherd? And I'll get Brenton Jules' thoughts on that in just a moment, just quietly. But did that take the pressure off and allow you guys just to focus on mastering this racetrack and hitting your markers? Because I can't imagine that anyone pushed it to 110% around here like you would some of the other racetracks. But certainly, it's a lot to take in and a lot to absorb, 25 kilometres a lap.
I think for me, like, you'd find that you're used to some of these top guys, and the top guys would probably hang behind you and save fuel as well. Just a bit of a strategy play.
Jared?
Yeah, it was nice knowing that it was Aaron behind me. Yeah, I 100% agree. I think I kind of disagree with Aaron's sort of take on it. I think, yeah, if it was another team, then yeah, it would have been sort of all hell for leather. Like I saw John go for the massive dive bomb at turn 1 on lap 1, so that sort of signalled his intention. So it was kind of happy to sort of see him facing the other way. It's obviously unfortunate, but yeah, I knew if he sort of sat there behind me, we probably would have been in a bit of strife, because yeah, we all know what John's like. He just gets faster as the race goes on, so yeah, we would have been on struggle street, I think.
You can send your regards to, well, I can't remember who got involved in the first incident John Merritt was caught up in, but you can thank Adam Burhop for the second. And I know Graham Stewart will appreciate me saying that as well. Hey, let's get your thoughts on next weekend before I bring your teammate into the discussion. And if we can just remind everybody where that's going to be, please, Adam Lavis. It is sprint racing. So we go from, it's complete polar opposite. We go from the Nürburgring to Suzuka. And I don't mind the fact that we're going sprint racing at Suzuka, because we know that the 60-minute races can get a little bit tedious and nitpicky around there, but at least with sprint racing, the challenge of the invert comes into play as well for race 2. What are your thoughts on that? I know how much you must be dreading the thought of going to Suzuka as a race winner, Jared Knight.
Yeah, we definitely know my feelings about Suzuka. It's not that I don't necessarily despise the track. I just never have a good result there. So,
Nighty might be taking next Monday night off by the sounds of it.
I can't afford to, mate. I've already missed the last two. So, yeah, we've just got to suck it up and deal with it. And I'm pretty sure that it's the server's set for rain as well. So that should spice things up.
Okay, that will be interesting, no doubt about that. And just quickly to you, mate, with regards to the race win and a few other factors, was it easy enough for you to just focus on the task at hand, knowing that you didn't have Denchi out there to contend with? What does that do to the mindset when you know he's not in the house?
I mean, this is sort of an odd track where I kind of think that it would have dragged Denchi right back to us, but yeah, I guess not having him here sort of takes that focus away of, like, usually if we're in the lead of a race, it's because it's a sprint race and he's coming through the pack and you're just waiting for him to come through and sit on your tail and then save a bunch of fuel and then overtake you in the stop. But I guess it was sort of nice not having him here, but yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing him grid up next week.
All right, very nicely done. Aaron Cooper, your thoughts on, I think it was Suzuka we got to with you. Your thoughts on next week?
I'm working FIFO at the moment, so I won't be around for the next couple of weeks, so I'll miss out on that.
Unlucky indeed. However, when duty calls, work somehow keeps the roof over your head, so work's somewhat important. Hopefully that all is going swimmingly for you and smashingly, and we'll see you back in a couple of weeks. And as to you, Jared Knight, we'll see you next week. Go well.
Yeah, cheers, Zach. And just thought I'd mention the 4SKA round at Eastern Creek this weekend.
Yes, that's going to be big.
So if you're in the Sydney area, just pop down to Eastern Creek for a couple of hours on Sunday. And
can I just say, if I didn't already commit to the Ipswich District Athletics Club this weekend, they wanted me to make the opening speech at their annual general meeting, and I'm not sure terribly why just yet, because I've never called any athletics in my life. But the reality is, I'm a radio presenter in the area, so that's what they're angling at. And I specialise in sports. So if I wasn't doing that, I got an offer to go to the Newcastle Kart Club Saturday night for their night meeting, and I could have easily tagged along to Eastern Creek on Sunday, but not to be. We'll make it happen somewhere down the line. And just quickly, boys, I shouldn't actually let you go without asking you for your thoughts on... Oh, hang on. Okay, first, two things, right? Have a look at that, Nighty. Have a look at that. 1 point down on Denchi now, who was absent tonight, MIA. Richard Mitchum's jumped up into the top three as well, and Nico's jumped down to fourth. Collins, Haynes, Johnson, King, Foster, and Burhop, the top 10. Shouldn't let you go, though, Nighty, but without asking you about your thoughts on the fact that the team pulled off the trifecta, the podium sweep tonight. What a great performance from Brenton Jewell there, albeit controversially, on that final lap to get you guys the clean sweep.
Yeah, I don't think it's I don't think we've done it before. So yeah, it's awesome effort, and same with the DJ coming from 22nd up to 12th. That's a real solid effort, and even more so that we're all sort of. I am a little bit sick of this track. we've did a bunch of laps for the 24, so. My wrists and head's hurting a little bit, but good effort from Aaron and Brenton and DJ.
Indeed. All right, very nicely done, boys. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach, and thanks for the commentary there.
Always happy to do it. Hey, let's bring in Brenton Jewell on that note. Firstly, without going into too much detail, I'm not sure whether it's been in the steward's room yet or not, but I have to ask. I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't. Your thoughts on the argy-bargy, the hip and shoulder, the nice exchange that you had there with the Porsche on the final lap, please?
Yeah, I kind of knew it was going to be a bit of a challenge because it was the strong point of the BMW down that back straight against the Porsche, because the Porsche just didn't have any top end speed. So when I came onto the actual final straight there, I was on the limit, nearly hit the grass coming onto it, and went for it. And unfortunately for Dylan, the BMW just pulled up beside it, and there was some nice blocking, some moving, and I thought it was all fair. And then got to the right, a little bit squeezed going down the right. But I've already messaged Dylan, to say, hey, I thought that was pretty fair racing. He thinks it's the same, and like he said, he's just doing what he can, being in the Porsche, slowing. And unfortunately, like what happens with these GT3s, as we both discussed, is you get the little taps when you're trying to side draft, because the Porsche needed everything it could to try and stay with the BMW down the back end of that straight, and it just makes the car move into each other. So like we've already said, Dylan's it's been good. I've messaged Dylan to make sure he's okay. He says, yeah, no, there was nothing wrong with that. He's happy with it. Like he said, he's a bit frustrated because of the pace of the Porsche, but yeah, there was no malice involved, and we've made sure that we've walked away like gentlemen should, and we both think it was pretty fair, and it was an awesome fight. We talked about the whole fight back and forth between him the whole time. I finally got in front of him, then I'd lose it for a mistake, and it was just a really entertaining fight with Dylan.
Indeed. Now, just as we continue on here, that was phenomenal racing. I love it that you guys have already had that conversation, continuing, the gentleman's agreement, hard, fair, clean, happy to, leave it as it is. But it just goes to show that you had to work for every single one of the 11 laps around here tonight. There was no opportunity to let your guard down at any point. You had to be switched on the whole time.
No, that's right. Yeah, and I actually managed to get past Dylan a couple of times on the straight, just purely because of the pull of the BMW down that straight, especially in the toe. And then after following Dylan, being on the edge, you're literally heart pumping the whole race, and you feel like you're that close to hitting into the wall. You get out into the clean air, and the car acts a little bit differently, and caught me off guard a couple of times. And then Dylan got back ahead, and I actually didn't mind following Dylan because it was actually helping me try and hit my points on the limit, which was nice. And I think it would have been a very different story if I needed a bit more fuel at that last pit stop. That obviously kept me there, and then Dylan got out in front of me on that last stop for that last lap. And it was actually it was a good thing for myself when you look back at the race to actually be behind him coming into that last lap, because the BMW in the toe was just it was dominant compared to that Porsche. So it probably actually helped me a lot, the fact that it turned out the way it did that last lap.
Your thoughts on the rest of the race, though, because like Aaron, you were running the BMW this evening. It seemed to be the one of the cars to have. And I mean, even though your two teammates skipped away to the tune of about 20 seconds, it was still a very good night at the office for you. And you had a couple of guys there to race at the end. And Richard Mitchum came home in leaps and bounds, didn't he?
Oh, the surprise of having Richard there right at the end there, being 1.5 seconds back. I think at one time I saw on the relative, he was 0.5 of a second behind me in a braking zone. I thought, oh, here we go. This is going to be a nice, interesting final lap. And the whole race as a whole, I've always chosen the BMW and GT3. I'm still trying to develop, which HTS is helping me a lot. And it's always been that car that I've been most comfortable with. It must just suit my driving style, even when it's I seem to be able to get the most out of that car, even when it isn't a strong track for that vehicle. But the actual whole entire race, like the stuff that was hot, from lap 1 basically on the edge, there was a couple of things that helped me out. Obviously, I wouldn't have been in P3 if it wasn't for, I saw there was a few issues with John and Richard at the start there, and it obviously helps promote you up the field when realistically I knew my pace was probably around that. I was looking for hopefully a 6th position or 5th position, but lucky for myself, it just all fell into place, which was nice. So.
Indeed. I guess as far as the season goes thus far, I wasn't here a couple of weeks ago, but I need to have a look here through the running sheet and see where you fit into the piece. Was that the first time?
No, that's that is the first time. It's the I became available on a Monday night finally after about a season and a half off. It used to be the most enjoyable thing on Monday, and unfortunately, parent life gets in the way, and now available on Monday nights, which is nice. And then, of course, I've just found out that I'm off next week, doing FIFO. I actually work in the same areas where Aaron works. So
Okay.
I've come in thinking, how good's this? I'm going to be back in the season and just work my way into season 3. And already I'm off, and I think I missed even my favourite tracks, Road America, and I believe I missed that too.
So all of a sudden, it's a double-edged sword. You come in and it's a short-lived cameo.
Yeah, I will be definitely back before the end of the season, but unfortunately I'm going to miss Suzuka, which I don't actually know that track too well anyway, so it's probably a good thing because I'll probably be mid to the rear of that race.
I'm sure Jared Knight would be disappointed that he can't swap places with you at this point in time for Suzuka.
We are all very aware of his thoughts of that track.
Yeah, indeed we are. I mean, for you, it's been a while since we're obviously familiar with you. We've seen you before, but it must be nice to be able to return to the club and hit your straps that beautifully, mate, to pick up a podium finish and cement a little bit of history for the team, a 1, 2, 3 and a GT3 night.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome to do. I've always loved gents racing. I've always sort of been pretty fair. I've been involved in a few accidents and whatever, and it's always nice to be able to message the people and just make sure everyone's happy on the same page, and the stewards do their job. If there's any discrepancy between how we feel, it's good that they have the outcome, so we can all walk away knowing that it's settled, which is always nice. A bit different to other series out there where you don't actually get that ending of the race, basically. And the other thing as well is with the race tonight, it's fortunate for myself that Ash Collins is not here, because I've been trying to catch him for 4 or 5 years, and he's always had me around here. So I have a feeling that if he was available for this race, it'd be a different HDS car in third position. So,
in saying that though, I mean, if you're going to miss Suzuka and maybe Road America, what are your thoughts on the two races in between? Road Atlanta is one of them, and I missed the other one, but we've got 4 great rounds to go. Algarve, of course, Portugal, Portimao.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on those two? Road Atlanta and Portimao, should we see you for them?
You'll be seeing me for Road Atlanta. I'm not too sure about the other one. I might have to go away and learn the track, because I don't even think I own it, to be honest. I might have to step away and have a few laps, but I'm always one to... I know that team boss, Aussie, doesn't particularly like it, but I am known to be one of the ones that just jumps in, not knowing the track, and learn it as I go. So it could potentially be one of those type of rounds if I'm there.
Absolutely. Hey, very nicely done. Round 7, of course, for everybody tuning in at home, next Monday night, sprint racing from Suzuka. So we've had a break from the sprint racing for a while. We've had a 60-minute and a 90-minute, and we're going back to sprint mode for a couple of weeks, then a 60 and 90 to finish it off after a 60 and 90 to start the season. What are your thoughts on the Nürburgring or the Nordschleife as a circuit at large, Brendan? I mean, hard to master. How'd you approach it in terms of knowing that if you went about it at 10 tenths every single lap, you'd probably get punished at some point?
It's definitely one of those tracks where there's no room for error, and you see that a lot with people learning it, trying to find that limitation. We've obviously got the beauty that it's not costing us a cent on car repair when we bin it into the wall and ride it off, so it allows us to find the limit, which is nice. But I still feel that it's one of those tracks, when you're on the limit, it feels more flowing and it feels more natural than when you're trying to back off. Like if I was going to have a race where it was about fuel saving, that's normally when the mistakes come in for myself around that track. It just feels like it needs to be that one that you're hitting that limit every time and it flows nicely. But as a track, people that get around this track in real life, credit to them. Like it's definitely a scary principle on the sim, and it's probably my favourite track on. Apart from obviously Mount Panorama, I seem to always tend to go to that track, but this would definitely be my second favourite track on iRacing.
All right, mate, very nicely done. We might leave it at that, knowing that we're not going to see you next week, but well done again, great result. Great that we had some entertainment right down to the line, and I guess the that's testament to the skill set of you guys that put on the show tonight. The fact that we had a 3-way fight for third and a 2-way fight for the win at the front of the field, right to the death. And as everybody said, the slipstream was immense on that final run down the back straight. However, you've got to hit your markers for the first 7 minutes of the lap before you even get there, which you guys did. Brilliant show. Enjoyed it, mate. Welcome back. Nice to see you again, and look forward to seeing you on a more regular basis once FIFO commitments have been ticked off.
No worries. Thanks so much, Zach, and thanks for putting on the show for everyone. We always absolutely love watching back the stream. It's really nice.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's always been good fun to produce it, or at least provide the soundtrack for it, whilst Adam Lavis does the direction, the editing, and the production. Hey, mate, thank you. Appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your week.
No worries. You too. Thanks, everyone.
Ashton Ardley, welcome into you. Actually, before I bring in Ashton, do we have results from the AM split, Adam? Sorry, I don't think we went there yet. So let's just remind everybody of the AM split tonight. Eduardo Zamora getting the job done by 46 seconds, if you don't mind. Nowhere near the driver there that we had here. Bobby Camo second. And then, Sergei Zagorskas in third. Nice to see. Is that Greek? I'm not sure. Brad Coates, James Francone, Brett Bradbury, Adam Johnson, Stephen Gallacher, Dale Sharp, and Andrew Franklin making up the top 10 there. 2 minutes separating first and 10th. My goodness. And the lap time's well south of where we were in the pros split. 8 minutes, 20.195. 8:17 the best from Sergey there late in the piece on lap number 8 of 11. Now, let's bring in Ashton Ardley on that note. Mate, how'd you find that out there tonight?
Oh, to be honest, it was pretty neat, surprisingly, at the start. But no, I love this track. It's really fun, but I've never driven the M4 at the Nürburgring, so it was quite new to me. But I think I found out about this race like Saturday night, Sunday night, one of the two. So I decided to hop in. But yeah, I got a little bit of practice, but I was running 9th or 10th, and then going along the straight, putting in the stuff in my black box for a pit stop, and then iRacing just crashes. So not very lucky, but that's the way it is.
Indeed, that is the case. I mean, you finished out in 28th, mate. I mean, there's a few people behind you that didn't make it to the checkered flag, so it must have been nice to at least get there and persevere through some challenges along the way. A challenging track, a challenging night, and a night where if you ran into trouble, you paid the price.
Yeah, absolutely. I was alongside with someone, went around the outside and almost lost it, and it just showed me for the rest of the race I just have to be that cautious, and I was paying attention the whole race, looking in my mirrors, being all cautious, and then the PC is the one thing that stops me, but yeah.
All right, very nicely done. Hey, tell us the Ashton Ardley story. We've had another Ardley on GSRC platforms in the past. Any relation?
Yeah, I's mentioned to me that he's looking to get back into the racing, so
there
you
we
might see him sometime soon.
Excellent.
I told him, there's a race at the Nordschleife on Monday night, and I said, all right, you do that, and then so he's going to renew his subscription and make a return in whatever series.
And very nice to see it as well. That will be good fun when you guys are in there in tandem working together. What do you? I mean, obviously, we're slowly getting introduced to you, but what are your thoughts on the BMW, and what are your thoughts on the quality of the racing so far?
Especially at the start, I was really surprised on how cautious everyone was. Like, everyone was aware that it was an hour-and-a-half race, not a sprint race, so no one was rushing. Everyone was trying to get into position, trying to plan out their race, but no, it was quite clean. I avoided incidents in front of me. No one went for any silly moves, but no, I was happy with it, to be honest. It was a pretty even car.
All right, very nicely done. Now, are we going to see you on a more regular basis throughout the rest of the season? Next week, of course, being Suzuka?
Personally, I do like Suzuka, so I'll do some practice and I'll see how I am on pace. But most likely, I'll give it a go next week.
All right, very nicely done. And must be looking forward to, putting a championship together somewhere down the line. If you can commit to a 10-week campaign, there's going to be a lot of talk in a few weeks' time about the new invention, the new introduction to GT3 in the Ford Mustang. Would you be interested in having a dabble in that?
I'll certainly give it a go, but at the moment I'm stuck to the M4. But if that's any quicker, I'll just give it a go, give it some practice, see how I am.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. Great to catch up with you once more. Thanks for stopping on by. Thanks for being patient whilst we acknowledge the HTS boys. And look forward to seeing you and also Kai on a more regular basis going forward. Go well.
All right, thank you. You too.
And since it's 5 minutes past 11, we'll keep this short, sharp and sweet with Dave Oliver. Geez, you and I burnt the candle at both ends over the course of the last couple of days, mate. Good evening to you. A one-stop race. Well done. The mega fuel save was on. You pulled it off and you got a top 10 for your efforts. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I wasn't too sure how I was going to go there. I was initially thinking to pit in early and doing like a two lapper and then 2 5s, and then I noticed that it went down to 11 laps. So I just decided to roll the dice like I did last week on slicks, and unlike last week where it failed absolutely miserably, this time it worked out. So yeah, it was fun.
Very nicely done. Now, very quickly, the Ferrari, how'd you find it around this circuit? And more to the point, the challenge of this circuit as well, mate, because it ain't easy.
Yeah, after coming from the Beamer, for the last how many seasons I run it, it's it is definitely different. It's quick, but yeah, especially around here, I found that if you push too hard, it does burn the front tires up. It could just be I'm still learning it, which is fair enough. And those first that first stint, I definitely cooked them. So I was definitely waiting to get into the pits and chucked a fresh set of tires on, and then from there I kind of figured I think I ended up needing to save something like 10 litres or something like that, and I kind of just had a lot of lift and coasting and all that kind of stuff, and it worked out in the end, and I think I finished with about a litre left and enough to do a skid at the end. So yeah.
What was the approach tonight? I mean, apart from obviously trying to one-stop it, and you've done exceptionally well, because we were noting Adam Lavis was talking about it being 40 minutes possibly to a tank, so there's a fair bit of fuel save going on there. I mean, about a minute and a half for the guys that stretched 5 laps, but a lot more for you. What was the other? What were the other factors within your setup and within your approach tonight, mate, in terms of how to attack this race?
Personally, it's just don't die.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Pretty much options
Don't get killed.
A to X, and then the last two was just survive. But yeah, it was just a case of just trying to get the fuel figures right. It's just such a long track that a lot of the just trying to get it correct and all that kind of stuff, and it was just a little bit, it was up in the air going in, and then it was just trying to go figure out do you try and do a two lap run and then 2 5-lappers if it was going to go for the 12 laps, which I thought it might have initially, or do you try and do like some of the guys did 2 5-lappers and then a 1 lap little sprint at the end there. So when it was just a case of just trying not to burn the tires up, and I just found myself driving a bit neater, and it kind of worked out. So
all right, very nicely done. I guess at the end there, just looking at the results sheet, you had a little bit of a lonely finish. That would have made things a little bit easier in trying to just focus on the task at hand of hitting your apexes and not dying, as you say. So How did you find that back end of the race and once the pressure was off, just trying to go through the motions?
Yeah, like once that figured out who was like around, that last couple laps was just like figuring out, okay, you know, like John Merritt came by, so it was a case of, okay, let him by, you know, try not to ruin both our races, and it was just a case of, yeah, figuring out who was on what strategy and then go from there. And then the last lap, I think I had somewhere probably about a 15-second lead coming in, and like Richard King had a nice finish there, and he got down there within to like 7 seconds from me there. So if it was another lap, he would have got me there. But it was just a case of just trying to just keep it flowing, just keep the apex speeds up, and you know, be as light as you can on the right foot, which is very strange for me, but.
Indeed. Just getting some news through here as well. I haven't actually come across this in the last week and a bit, probably because I haven't liked the page. The Australian Supercross Championship. Apparently, the Australian Supercross Championship is on its way back to Queensland later in the year, so that's exciting. To KO Stadium in Redcliffe, same weekend as a race down west of the Blue Mountains somewhere. So that's exciting to go and have a look at that. I might consider. You know me, Dave. You know me well. I don't do the whole spectator thing at Motorsport very often. I don't do it well, but I think to go and watch a night of Supercross might be something I have to do this summer coming. Now, whilst we got you, please. We've had a very busy weekend, as has already been detailed, but I want to ask you about next week, because you've got more photography duties on the weekend, and then get to focus on sprint racing at Suzuka.
Once I get over the weekend with shooting with the Apra Pulsars at SMP at the state round there, I'll go and get ready to. At the moment, the forecast is potentially saying slip and slide around Suzuka, so could be interesting, because after doing the
we need a wet race.
Yeah, last week was pretty interesting with it raining in the last 5 minutes, but yeah, like a full proper wet race will be interesting. And at Suzuka, after doing the enduro or practicing for the enduro there a month or so back, it was definitely interesting. The GTP, the GT3 will hopefully be kinder. But yeah, Suzuka, great track, and the way we're going with our numbers, having 40 to 50 cars around there will be pretty interesting.
Indeed. Now, what else is on the agenda for this week? Are you having a dabble in any other sim racing?
Not too sure yet. I need to suss out. So if I'm available, I'll probably jump on. So.
All right, very nicely done. And if you've got 5 minutes after the broadcast finishes, stick around. I've got some information for you. But in the meantime, one last question. Ford Mustang's just been announced as the next drop as far as GT3 cars are concerned on this platform. What are your thoughts, and will you be having a steer?
Well, there's actually the Corvette's been announced too. So it'll be interesting to have a drive of both, but both of them being different characteristics too. So it'll be interesting. I think potentially the Mustang might be a little bit more up my alley, with it being a front-engined car, with the Corvette being that typical what is it, mid-rear kind of thing that a lot of the GT guys are going with now. But either or, they should be up to pace, and be pretty cool to see them up there. We just need maybe a McLaren to go and finally replace the old dinosaur that the MP4, whatever it is. So
yes. Yep, exactly. All right, very nicely done. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. We're done on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. I'm going to get us out of here just before the 4-hour mark ticks over. Oh boy, what a night that was at Green Hell. To be fair, relatively clean in the greater scheme of things. One or two car incidents, but nothing in the way of an enormous shunt for anybody. Nothing in the way of an enormous wreck. It was good to see. So, or a pile up, I should say. It was good to watch. Good, hard, fair, clean racing, and a bit of hip and shoulder at the end. But as they say in the classics, rubbin is racing. And that was certainly the consensus of Brenton Jewell and Dylan Shepherd. Dylan, the unlucky one in all of that. But let's talk about a couple of things here on the way out. 25 positions gained for Richard King, 10 for Dave Oliver and David Johnson, 13 for Stephen Banks, the biggest movers of the night, including 16 for Glenn Wilson, 10 for Sean Benici, 9 apiece for Greg Heaney and William Yarwood. Greg had to depart, unfortunately. I did see him there, didn't get a chance to have a chat to him, unfortunately. So, yeah, and 10 for Adam Chiplin. So they are the big beneficiaries of the night. We couldn't do what we do here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club without some tremendous support from the following. They include Sprite Insider, Waste Options, Orbic Australia, Lobesy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and Flash Graphics. Let's have a look at what's coming your way on the platforms of the GSRC across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube for the rest of this 6th week of Term 2 of 2024. The rest of the first week of the back half of the campaign. Yep, the second half of the season is already underway, and what a way to get it underway tonight as well. Off to the Roots Koga Motor Centre tomorrow night at the Mazda MX-5s for the Van Ryn Cup, the Lobesy Racing up-and-comers. That's a 7:45 Eastern Standard Time, followed at 9:10 by a 40-minute rip and tear around the circuit to Spa-Francorchamps. So we're going long track again tomorrow night. That's with Orbic Australia's GT1 Civil War. Wednesday night, of course, we get stuck back into broadcast mode with the Mustang F500s from around the Motorland Aragon circuit in the Production Car Challenge. That's sprint racing for you from 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. I joined Daniel Correa, Sarah and Liam Banks for that. Then the GSRC GT4 Challenge for Wednesday night motorsports main course to WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, 2 sprint races there as well, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Thursday night, cannot wait for this. Off to Snetterton, Slipstream Heaven. Long straights, tight corners, Formula V, perfect scenario, perfect ingredients for what should be a classic night of racing there. In Sprayton inside of Thursday night motorsport, the Snetterton 300 circuit first up for Formula V, 3 sprint races, 7:30 Eastern. Looking forward to your company then. Thursday, and before that, of course, I've got an 8-hour drive back to Ipswich on Wednesday. So, yeah, plenty to look forward to there. 7:30 p.m. and then straight after that, followed by the Sprayton side Wings and Slicks, Super Formula Lights, and that's from Kota for 2 sprint races from 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Friday night, Joe Baldwin, Nick Fodiatis here with you to bring you the Stock Car Series and the SRX machines from the South Boston Speedway. That's an oval. That is 3 sprint races. Can we confirm whether that's dirt or tar, please?
Tarmac.
Sorry?
Tarmac.
Tarmac, excellent, lovely. I only heard the second syllable on the first call. Thank you, Adam. So, yeah, Tarmac. At the South Boston Speedway Oval. Interesting choice of course there, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mountain Men's in the FR500s on Saturday night. The Mustang, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 32 laps around that holy grail, that magnificent mecca of Australian motorsport. Next Monday night, week 7 gets underway for you with to be confirmed commentating the first leg for you. As I said earlier in the night, I've got Ipswich Jets commitments to attend to. I asked the Ipswich Jets, ladies and gentlemen, I said, look, they said to me, look, we need to hold our junior presentation, but we need to do it on either the Monday or the Wednesday. I said, if it's the Wednesday, lock me in. Absolutely lock me in. And then they said, no, we have to go the Monday. I said, right, suss out all your other options first, and if no one's wanting to do it or able to do it, then sign me up at the expense of the entree on Monday night motorsport. And what happened? No one was available. They're very aware of my sim racing commentary commitments, so I'll be coming straight from the back end of that to bring you GT3. I don't know who's going to be bringing you Super 2 just yet from the Algarve International Circuit in Portimao. I am disappointed to be missing that, quite frankly. But the substitute, the consolation prize, if you like, is Suzuka. We'll have sprint racing, so you'll see 3 different classes in action next week, because it'll be the combined Super 2 3-field first up from Algarve. Then it'll be the AM split race first up for the 7th round of the GT3 Championship for Waste Options. Then we'll get into the feature race for the Pro Split. 2 sprint race agenda for GT3, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to your company for that. Where are we at with the Enduros? What's going on there, please? Any information, update on that? Yes. We didn't get Laguna Seca. We know that.
So Le Mans and Motorsport are locked in, and I believe, to be confirmed, but I believe Spa is being pushed across to BE Season 8's finale.
Right, yeah, copy that. And that will be 2 weeks prior to the start of season B on that note, and it'll be 6 hours or 8 hours or something like that around Spa, and everything else will remain where it is. So the next stop on the journey is the Circuit de la Sarthe, Le Mans, south of France. We're 4 weeks away from that now. It'll be running concurrently, running in sync with the real world Le Mans 24-hour that weekend. So you'll be able to watch sim racing on one screen, real racing on the other. That will be well worth the price of admission. The Le Mans 24-hour weekend. We will bring you our endurance equivalent as far as the GSRC Endurance Championship is concerned, and that will be their next stop. GTB and GT3 in action there for you. Reminder of the merch store, gsrcmerch.myshopify.com or merch.tgsrci.com for all your merch and apparel requirements as far as the GSRC is concerned. And if that's not enough, race.tgsrci.com for all the information on how to get involved with this caper. Excellent stuff. We've had fun. We hope you have as well. One hell of a night around Green Hell. And an HTS 1, 2, 3 for the ages. Relying on a little bit of a last lap heavyweight fight between Brenton Jewell and Dylan Shepherd. And Jewell prevailing. Richard Mitchum stuck as piggy in the middle there, unable to get 2 for the price of 1, but he'll take 1 and get 4th. And the campaign now moves on to sprint racing for the next 2 weeks with the checkered flag for the season in sight. Can Denchi still somehow hold on despite not being on the grid tonight for title number 10? Only time will tell. Hope you'll come back and join us for Monday Night Motorsport for the last one of May next Monday night. Straight on the back of one of the biggest marathons in Australian and world motorsport. For the weekend, we'll have, of course, the Monaco Grand Prix, the Indy 500, the Coke 600, and then all of a sudden we're wheeling back into some sim racing. So I hope you'll come back and join us for all that and more on the platforms of the GSRC. In the meantime, on behalf of all the crew here, stand by for Wednesday night, Thursday night. There it is. There's the replay of the hip and shoulder. Just exchanging body paint, just enjoying one another's company. A little bit of tug of war, if you like. You know, Robbins Racing. I love it. I hope you'll come back and join Liam Banks and Daniel Criasar Wednesday night. I'll be with Daniel on Thursday night. Joe and Nick on Friday night for you as week 6 of term 2 continues. Night 1's done. It was an extended edition. Well worth it in the end, though. Entertainment Plus, firstly at Oran Park with Greg Favell doing what Greg Favell does in the supercars. Then with Jared Knight leading home a 1, 2, 3 here for HTS in the Waste Options GT3. Look forward to your company on Thursday night. The boys will be with you on Wednesday. In the meantime, enjoy what's left of your Monday night, everybody, and we'll see you for the continuation of week 6 in less than 48 hours from now. On behalf of Adam Lavis and all the crew here, I'm Zach Caban bidding you a very good night.